Welcome to Swish and Flick, an all Potter podcast.
Swish and flick. Everyone? Swish and flick.
Stop. You psycho.
Are we gonna sing a song?
No, you cannot be like that on this episode. This is not a Felix file. You have to be normal.
Okay,
as
well,
possible.
I just should leave. Ooh.
Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Swish and Flick. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Megan.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Sarah.
All right, and we are going to get into our weekly profit. Megan.
Hey guys, we have some super exciting news on the Fantastic Beasts front this week. It looks like they are filming at Hogwarts.
Hooray! Yeah. Hogwarts.
So,
Hogwarts.
they're filming at Laycock Abbey. Did I say that right?
I don't know. Why are you looking at me? The girl can't read.
Where is that?
It's in England.
Oh, okay.
In England? Is it in England or is it in Scotland?
Oh.
I believe it's in England.
Okay.
Because I mean, they're filming most of Fantastic Beasts at Leavesden Studios. And I guess they're just using some of the offsites that they used during the Harry Potter movies to film Hogwarts now.
Same. Do they still have the same sets? Would they keep those?
Oh yeah, because that's part of the tour.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Is that like a specific like WB tour?
You're right.
It's WB puts on the Leavesden Studios tour in England.
So if people would like to sponsor our flights and hotels to
Can I
go
also
on
say,
over
if
there.
you just want to sponsor my life, I will gladly accept it.
Sarah's now taking donations.
You want to pay my bills? Please go right ahead.
If anybody wants us to like live Facebook stream the entire tour and send us out there,
Yeah.
we are so
we
good.
would totally do that.
I would
Down.
definitely take the heat on that for you, and I would do it any day.
What a cross to bear.
It'd be tough, but guys, we would do it for you.
So
It's in Wiltshire, England.
Wiltshire, England.
All right.
think it's
Wiltshire or
Wiltshire.
Wiltshire.
But I don't think that's
Wiltshire.
Yes.
Wiltshire. Well,
Sorry,
okay,
guys.
we
We're
have
from
a-
Ohio.
We have an American dialect.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks to casting calls and all that good stuff, we know some of the people that were cast in Fantastic Beasts, which we talked about in an earlier episode. So we knew or had a feeling rather that they would be going back to Hogwarts, but I just think it's super exciting to know that like they are for sure filming at Hogwarts again. So we're gonna get to go back to like our all-time favorite place in the entire world.
Hooray.
Can I just say, once like it really starts coming out more of the Fantastic Beasts stuff, I can't wait to start talking about
Yes.
it.
Oh, I know.
I will
And
say-
we are totally gonna use the Felix files for that as
Yes.
well, I think.
Felix.
The
So like I will say,
Felix
I didn't read the
files.
screenplay yet. I haven't read it yet. But I loved the movie,
haven't
and
either.
I just recently watched it again. And there was like bits and pieces. I was like, oh, I can't wait to
God,
talk about
it's
this.
so
Oh, I can't wait to talk about this.
good.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about
It's
this.
so good, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I gotta watch it again. And I have
It's
the
on HBO.
I have this. Well, I own it. So
It is.
I mean, I don't
IJS.
know.
Well, I own it as well.
I can't watch DVDs in my house, so
Okay. I don't know what that
Well,
means.
aren't you fancy?
no, my computer doesn't have a DVD drive.
You have a TV?
Yeah, but it's all the way
I just
downstairs.
think it's
That's such
really-
a first world problem.
It's really weird to think because there are some people out there who like don't buy DVDs or Blu-rays anymore.
I don't buy them anymore.
Oh, 'cause they get digital
They
copies?
just like buy them through iTunes and watch them on their
I can't be
TV.
about that. I've got to like physically have it. But you get the digital copy with it as well. And you
But
can
my
just-
thing is, like, I don't like my computer because I like to watch things in my bed because I don't have a TV in my room because I don't need one. So if I can't watch it on my computer or my phone, I can't watch it. Like I won't watch it because very rarely do I watch an actual DVD anymore.
Back to Fantastic Beasts filming. Laycock Abbey is where they filmed Chamber of Secrets and Half-Blood Prince. Just for some perspective for you guys, the hallways are supposed to depict the Hogwarts hallways. And if you can envision Half-Blood Prince, this is where I really like can picture it in my mind. Whenever Harry casts Sectum Sempra on Draco, and then he runs out into the hall. Hold on. Back that up.
that was a rewind noise.
It was a rewind before that happens. But Snape and Draco are talking in the hallway.
Slughorn's party.
Yes.
And Harry is like hiding and
Gotcha.
listening in on them. That's Laycock Abbey.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I can see it in my mind's eye.
yes.
It's just random. Does anyone have a bobby pin? Okay.
No,
Go on.
I'm sorry. J.K. Rowling also hinted that
could
they
be the
are
episode
doing.
title.
Does anyone have a bobby pin?
J.K. Rowling also hinted that she was at filming by posting her chair.
I saw that.
Oh, yeah.
Killer chair,
yeah.
by the
It
way.
looks so cool.
That's
Her
awesome.
Twitter is just like full of
Magic.
information.
I love J.K.
Yeah.
Rowling's Twitter.
Yeah.
She's so active, which
She
is
is.
fun.
Awesome.
And then, I found a Hypable article about this. So it says here, if you want to dive deeper down the rabbit hole, the emojis that J.K. Rowling selected could all be subtle nods to Hogwarts. An owl, a unicorn, a spider, a lizard, and a snake. So,
lizard.
I mean,
What about the
Newt?
Niffler emoji?
Oh, Newt. I was like a lizard.
snake, a
Oh,
basilisk,
yeah.
or just Slytherin, a unicorn, like
What does a baby basilisk look like?
Probably
Terrifying.
adorable.
probably really ugly.
No.
It looks like a dragon
I really
head on a
hate
snake
snakes,
body.
and this is a problem because I'm Slytherin.
You hate snakes?
Yes, I cannot stand them.
Some of them are cute.
Some of them are super cute. They smile.
Do you want to
Yeah, and they have little like.
know, guys?
We got to pet one at Potterfest.
Yeah, we did.
A real live snake.
Yeah,
Girl was
this
just
she was
around.
walking around dressed as Bellatrix, and so
Wow.
I hope you're listening. If you are, that'd be cool.
Like, can we
she
can
let
we
us.
pet your snake?
No,
Oh.
I've never touched a snake, and I never.
They're
want
very
to.
smooth.
Oh, you should.
No,
cool.
It's an enjoyable
This is a
experience.
perfect
for me
segue.
and the snake.
This is a perfect segue into my next little piece of Weekly Prophet news.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift has a new album.
Oh my.
I'm glaring. No, okay. I'll
no,
give
I
you
need
30
to-
seconds to talk about
I
this.
need to talk about this.
30
because-
seconds.
Because first of all, thanks to Sarah's sister.
Oh, this is true.
This is funny. So apparently on Twitter there was this whole thing going on where because Taylor teased her album, Tiffany is literally timing me. Taylor teased her album with a snake, like 3 different snake videos, which I thought was really cool, even though it terrified me because I hate snakes, but I love Taylor Swift. And Bridget said, I'm going over 30
Running
seconds.
out of time.
Bridget, Sarah's sister, told me about how there was this thing going on Twitter where they're like saying that Taylor Swift is a Slytherin now and like 150 points to Slytherin for Taylor Swift's new album. And anyway, let's take a pause right here. I'm going to play a couple seconds of her song.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh, you heard me.
You're pulling an audible.
I'll sing it for you. Me. I just
Look
wrote a
what
song.
you made me do.
That's not no.
Okay. Anyway, on to recap of last episode.
So back to actually Harry Potter talk.
Taylor
that
Swift
actually-
is now a Slytherin. That has
I
everything
mean-
to do with Harry Potter.
Crossovers, man.
All right.
Sarah's dying.
Taylor is my life.
Literally.
I will say it is a catchy song. I'll give you that. Okay.
So
Moving on.
last episode.
Katy Perry's better.
Oh gosh, no! This is Harry
Don't
Potter.
even go there.
This is a Harry
Potter's
Potter
better.
podcast.
Harry and the Potters are better.
Harry and the Potters
shout
are
out.
hilarious.
They have good songs.
And Draco and the Malfoys.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm silencing you with the bell. Okay.
Go
All
on,
right,
sorry.
Katie.
So last episode we covered chapter 5, Diagon Alley. So we obviously explored Diagon Alley with Harry and Hagrid. We found out that Hagrid wants a dragon more than anything else. We met Professor Quirrell for the first time, Draco Malfoy. We experienced Harry's first taste of his celebrity status when he was in the Leaky Cauldron. And we found out that the wand chooses the wizard. So next up we have chapter 6, The Journey from Platform 9 3/4.
I just always like to say, platform 9 3/4. Think it'd be funny.
It's the same every year. Packed with,
With
muggles,
muggles.
of course. Platform 9 3/4 this way.
Okay, so Harry has
This
been
is
waiting.
going to happen until the end of Sorcerer's Stone.
This is
Well,
going to
no,
happen
this is
with
going to
every
happen
single
through
movie.
Chamber too.
Yeah.
Well, because they're like we watch those
Probably
movies the
yeah.
most.
Probably even
They're the
Prisoner
most
of Azkaban.
quotable
Yeah.
because they're like
I mean, let's be real. We're going to
Direct.
quote all of them.
Yeah, that's true.
okay.
We might even go back to the OG one and be like, the wand chooses the wizard, Mr. Potter. It's always clear why. All right.
But it is clear that we can expect great things from you.
Terrible.
Yes, but great.
All right. So Harry has been waiting impatiently for his last month with the Dursleys to go quickly. It's finally September 1st, and Harry is all packed and ready to go to King's Cross Station with his ticket for the Hogwarts Express. His aunt and uncle laugh as they leave him there. Sounds wrong. He tries to find platform 9 3/4, but to no avail, and asks a guard who just laughs at him. And just when he's about to give up because he can't every time.
Every summer.
I promise I can read some days. Just when he's about to give up because he can't find the platform or any information about a train that's leaving at 11, he hears a woman talking about muggles. He sees a family of redheads, 4 boys and a girl, all with flaming red hair. He watches as 3 of the boys run through the dividing barriers between platforms 9 and 10 and disappear.
Can we really quick talk about Harry's face when he watches them go through the platform the first time? He's just like, I nobody can see my face right now, but I did a really good imitation.
It was spot on.
I love magic. It's another quote from a movie.
Oh my God.
Where am I? Okay. With the help of Mrs. Weasley, Harry goes through the barrier, and when he opens his eyes on the other side, he sees the Scarlet steam engine. You're not going to tap your little bell, Scarlet?
Oh, Katie.
Guys, we
It
got a
wasn't
bell.
on my
I
list
think
of
this
colors.
is-
Katie, did we explain the bells on this?
We did.
We
Well,
did it on the Felix file
Felix
one.
file,
yeah.
Katie, you want to explain your bell?
Yeah, anytime there's a color, a
Taboo
taboo
word.
word, and apparently now numbers. 'cause
Anything.
I got
Anything that
confused.
Sarah wants to just ding the bell. Oh, I'm so cute. A ding.
We have to take the bell away from her.
This is true.
We'll
Yeah,
try
we're gonna
not to be
ding a bell.
annoying with it. We did get it for like a real purpose. We'll see if we can stick to that purpose.
Yeah.
So
But I thought of you when I wrote that in.
Sarah's
I'm like,
off the
I'm
bell.
purposely going to say Scarlet Steam
And then I
Engine.
missed it. Oh.
Yep.
That's okay.
I'm
it's
glad
early.
that I'm
Katie,
glad
you're
you listened to
already
me.
terrible
I'm
at your job.
shameful. I'm sorry.
Okay. Harry gets a spot in a compartment in the train, and with the help from 2 of the boys, Fred and George, who already know with one look at his scar that he's Harry Potter. He watches as the Weasleys say their goodbyes, and then the door of the compartment opens, and Ron asks if he could sit with him. On September 1st, if we go to Hogwarts, you can't sit with me.
I would.
They introduce themselves, and Ron asks him if he remembers Voldemort trying to kill him, and Harry asks Ron if he knows loads of magic. After learning more about each other, the trolley lady comes and Harry buys all sorts of treats for the 2 of them to enjoy. He gets a chocolate frog and has Dumbledore as the card. Soon, a young boy comes into the compartment and asks if they've seen a toad. And shortly after, while trying to turn his rat yellow, a young girl comes into the compartment and asks them about the same toad. She critiques Ron's spell and introduces herself as Hermione Granger, and in her head says, I'm going to be your wife one day.
Are you sure that's a real spell?
It's not very good now, is it? The boys introduce themselves to her, and even Hermione knows who Harry Potter is. They discuss which houses they think they'll be in, and they get interrupted by Malfoy and his 2 lackeys, who just want to get a look at the famous Harry Potter. And he tries to get him to be friends with him, and not Ron. They all change into their school robes and are soon off the train and go with Hagrid onto the boats that lead to the castle.
You've got dirt on your nose. Do you know?
So funny. I'll talk about it later.
there.
I was gonna say I was ready to think about why Hermione and Ron love each other. But go on.
I love
discuss
them together.
Guys, they're 11 right now.
I'm
Okay,
really
slow your
more of
roll.
a Snape and Hermione fan together.
Oh my God.
Do you want to know my favorite fanfics to read, though, in all honesty, are Draco Harry?
I agree with that.
I'm sure if we went onto that website again, I mean, it had the most.
fanfiction.net, yo.
Yeah, it had like
It has thousands.
literally hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands.
And that Harry Potter's the top one. It was
I'm sorry,
crazy.
yeah.
It blew my mind.
Remus and Lily are the best, though.
No,
But if you would-
I like Draco and Hermione.
I'm literally going to plug Remus and Lily every single episode.
Remus and Lily.
We're gonna bring this back because this is getting out of control. If you want to hear some interpretive fan fiction, you should listen to Second Breakfast, which is a new podcast by a couple of our buddies, and they're doing everything pop culture, and that includes interpretive fan fiction. And you
It's-
might just hear some voices that you recognize.
and it's
Familiar
hilarious.
It's so funny, guys.
an
so
adventure,
funny.
guys.
And they're
Go
cold. They're
listen.
cold reads, so nothing
Yeah.
is prepared. And
Lately,
so,
they've been talking about Game of Thrones a lot. So if anybody likes Game of Thrones, you should check them out. They've been talking
Yeah.
about the last couple episodes, and they're gonna touch on everything.
Yeah.
Literally
Disney,
everything.
video games,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. So
yeah.
Give
So-
them a good old listen.
check them out.
Check them out. All right. Second breakfast. Keep that in your head. All right.
Not first, not third, but second.
Not 11sies, not afternoon tea. We're talking about second breakfast. Okay. All right. Moving back into Harry Potter. I thought we would just touch on another MVP of the Harry Potter series.
Me.
No. Hedwig.
We've already been trying to replace you for a while.
I know.
You're not an MVP.
Fast forward to this time next year, there's a whole new Ravenclaw in town.
Oh, no. We
We're
love
accepting
you.
applications. All right. So Hedwig, I wanted to look up what Hedwig meant because Harry, he got her name out of a book, and I think I wrote the book down. Is it? It's not a Is it History of Magic?
History of Magic.
Yeah. Okay. So Hedwig is a German feminine name. And some of the old like German names, I'm ignoring you.
No, I have actually something funny to say about his names.
I can't.
But go on.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to be like, she spelled it all wrong.
I thought that same thing.
So, okay. So
and then I read the whole thing.
we have a Google Doc that we use for this. And so I wrote down like some of the German like pronunciations or the way that it's spelled is like Hedwig, Hedwig. I don't know.
Very
And
nice. You did that very well.
thank you.
welcome.
Because yesterday I really struggled with the Japanese school name.
Yeah.
Still don't know what it's called. I need somebody
You
to
guys will
phonetically.
hear that in a... Oh, no, you'll already have heard that. Never mind.
I need someone to like phonetically like put that out there for me. So once you hear this episode, please phonetically do that and let me know what it is. So Hedwig, she's a special owl. Pottermore says that she is high emotional intelligence. Her abilities are carrying post and has an impeccable internal compass, and she's extremely loyal.
She also likes... Oh, never mind. You're about to say it.
Yeah, I am. Her hobbies are hunting, flying, and affectionately nibbling Harry's ear.
That was what I was going to say.
And
Harry
she's
dear.
just cute. And I love how she is like a bird sass version of Harry. Like sassy Harry. She is him in bird version.
The bird version.
Bird version. Her death date, sadly, July 27th, 1997, with the flight of the Seven Potters. She died protecting Harry. She was just the most loyal owl. She had the biggest personality. And some people say that Hedwig's death symbolizes the loss of like Harry's innocence as he ages into an adult wizard. So
Sad.
it is sad.
Actually, that death affected me way more than I thought it was going to when I read it the first time. I was like, no.
Can we do our
Hedwig?
lightning bolt round question? I was hearing this on, I can't remember what other podcast, but they were like, what death from the books, and mine kind of stems into the movies, so I can actually how you see in your head when you read, but it's different seeing it on screen. What death in the Potter series really affected you the most, Sarah?
You're going to hate me. I have
You
two.
can't say why. No.
I'm just going to tell you the two people.
Jeez.
I'm telling you. I'm free.
I do what I want.
I would say Sirius Black and Remus.
Okay.
Sorry, you can say the same
The
thing.
same ones.
Same
Oh, yeah.
too.
Same too.
Okay.
Sirius Black and Remus.
Yeah.
I am not the same.
Sirius,
You can
I
leave
think
now.
a little, honestly, Sirius a little bit. I know I'm not supposed to explain, but Sirius
You're
a little
not.
more because of how Harry does it in the movie. It is so perfect. It makes me cry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tying into the movie part,
Heart-wrenching.
not that I was connected to this character in any kind of way, but seeing Cedric's dad when Harry brings his body, I cry every time.
Yeah.
When he
It's
says,
just
"That's
so
my boy."
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
and he's over. It's just so good. Just like Cedric's dad over.
It's all
him.
good though because he comes back as a vampire, guys, and he sparkles.
Yeah.
How much better is that?
I was like, what fanfic is that? And I was like, oh, it's Twilight. I got real confused for a hot second.
Actually, Twilight was a fanfic, right? So you are correct.
I am correct.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That was a hiccup. All right.
Was it?
So after Harry departs from Hagrid, he spends a month with the Dursleys before he sets off to Hogwarts, and they pretty much ignore him. And it says that he becomes he likes it at first, and then he becomes depressed after a while, which, gosh, that's so sad. But at least, you have to think, at least he has his books and his new stuff, and he has Hedwig with him this time. So his life is a little better than before.
It's almost sad that he would rather be abused by them than ignored by them.
I know.
He gets depressed that
It's
way. It's
Yeah.
a no-win situation.
That isolation is rough.
This is another reminder to me of why I, after doing my reread again recently, am not the biggest fan of Dumbledore. because, you know, it's always said that Harry has to go back to the Dursleys once a year to keep that as his home. He calls that place his home.
Yes.
Why couldn't he have just gone there for like the spring holiday for a week instead of like 2 months for summer?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
It makes me mad.
Yeah. Anyways. All
So.
right.
My grief with Dumbledore.
Yeah. I love him / hate him. So
Yeah.
that's for another episode.
We could do a whole Felix Files on that.
We could probably do a couple.
Felix Files.
So the
We
Dursleys
really like our new segment, guys. Sorry.
the Dursleys are terrified of him pretty much. So
They
that's
should
why
be.
they're leaving him alone.
Oh, they
Vodka
should
Jabra,
be.
Dursleys, y'all are mean to me.
Y'all.
So
We're like extra silly today. Sorry, guys.
is, guys.
it's all that coffee you had.
That's coffee getting shot into Sarah's system.
I'll stop.
I can't even with this, you guys.
I can't even.
All right, so the Dursleys agree to take Harry to King's Cross, which is surprising to him because it was like, oh, and then that was only because they had to get the pigtail removed from Dudley and they
I
had to
love
go into the
that.
city.
Love it.
So when Vernon found out about the platform number, he got real nasty and he was like basically saying that Harry was crazy and, you know, whatever, these wizards are crazy.
Good luck, kid.
And that it doesn't exist. Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting. So then they leave him on the platform and then they laugh maniacally as they drive away. And that's just like,
Jerks.
you're horrible.
That's so sick.
But like, what would have happened?
Yes.
How would Harry have gotten anywhere?
Yeah.
If like say the platform was sealed or he missed it or you know what I mean?
Do you think someone would have come and got him?
Dumbledore
Yeah.
would have probably come and got him.
I think
Or
that's a
McGonagall.
bold-faced lie. Hagrid.
Or Hagrid would
Or
have.
McGonagall, even.
Yeah.
Hagrid. My boy Hagrid.
Shout out to Hagrid everywhere.
Yes, Hagrid. Woo!
All right. So that's all I got. We're on the platform.
So, that was kind of a nice segue. Like, what if Harry hadn't met the Weasley family? Because
Yeah.
this is our first introduction to the
Yeah.
Weasleys, which is super exciting because obviously they are like probably the coolest family
I love them.
in Harry Potter. Yes.
So I wonder, because I bet you people are like, oh, I bet you if he had met, like if he hadn't met Ron the way he did and he met Draco on the train again, would he been friends with Draco? Or was his first impression being like, oh, hell no, use another Dursley,
I don't think
another
it would've
Dudley?
worked out.
I don't think he ever would have been
It's
friends
just
with
interesting to
Draco.
think about
Yeah,
like how
yeah.
life would have been different if Ron
Well, I
was
don't
the
know,
first
you
person.
guys. He had okay.
I mean, I guess kids are very impressionable.
Well, and he had
especially
no
at that
friends.
age. But I just can't, especially
I've
because
got
he would
no
have remembered
friends
Draco from Madame
hang out with
Malkin's.
me.
And his
Yeah.
first, as Sarah said, his first impression of Draco was that he was like Dudley. I think that would be the furthest thing he would push that away real fast.
I've lived with that long enough. I'm not doing
Right.
it.
Yeah.
In this new life.
This
I
is
have.
my getaway. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be around that.
I bet you though, if like they did become friendly and like Draco would be like, I'm the boss of you, Harry'd be like, that's a hard no. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So I wanted to talk about the Weasley family a little bit because I don't know when this was posted. I think it's kind of recent, but there's this really intricate and cool Weasley family tree on Pottermore.
It'll
I'm gonna
blow
have to
your
pull it up.
mind.
Yeah.
How do I go there?
If you click on
Pottermore.com.
if you click on the link that I put in the document,
Yeah.
you should like a thing should come up.
Yeah.
And you just click the link that comes up underneath and it'll open.
Technology.
Technology is amazing. I love technology.
Technology.
So
Oh, it's
the
pretty.
very first thing I noticed is that, obviously everybody knows that the Weasley family is a pureblood family, and all of the pureblood families are very intertwined because there's not very many of them anymore. So we see here that there is a Septimus Weasley
Septimus.
who
Like your
was
septum?
married to Cedrella Black.
Hello.
Their union resulted in Cedrella's removal from the Black family tapestry, as her family now considered her a blood traitor.
For being a Weasley?
They
don't
But
like
they're pure.
Weasleys.
But they're pure.
but
they're
the
blood
Weasleys
trailer-
are known
wait.
to be blood traitors.
blood trailers.
trailers. That could be
then-
the title.
The Pruitt family is another pureblood family. Ignatius Pruitt was married to Lucretia Black, the paternal aunt of Sirius Black. His name may have been passed on to Molly Pruitt's third son, Percy Ignatius Weasley. So I thought that was interesting. So the Black family is intertwined with the Weasley family in a couple places.
Charlie never got married? How sad is that?
I know.
I was like,
Hey, he's
Charlie
still
/
young.
Ed, you come marry me.
how do you say Ginny's real name?
Ginevra.
I was like, who's Ginevra? I was like, why is she with Harry? And I was like, oh, Ginny.
And then I also found it really sad that Molly loses both of her brothers in the Order of the Phoenix during the First War in the same battle. They're battling together against
that is
Death Eaters.
heartbreaking.
This is why they're so passionate about taking down Voldemort.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It actually
then-
makes me want to cry a lot.
Fabian
Oh, wait.
Pruitt is actually the original owner of the watch that Molly gives Harry on his 17th birthday.
Dude.
I mean, that
That
speaks so
dude,
much.
Molly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's going to make me cry a little bit. So we got to move on.
I don't want to get too much into the lower half of the family tree because that obviously like takes place in later books and whatnot, and it's more for talking later. But it talks about like
There's a Molly and Lucy couple.
You didn't know that?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Percy has 2 daughters, and he names them Molly and Lucy.
Charlie has no kids because he hasn't met me yet.
Oh, you guys.
And then I also love that George has a Fred.
It makes me want to cry my eyes out if I
But
think about it
speaking-
too long.
A Fred. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
how
just
did I
now
not-
seeing this. I'm
how did I
sorry.
not know all of this?
Do you even like Harry Potter?
Speaking of
We're looking
Fred
for a
and
new
George,
Gryffindor.
Speaking of Fred and George, though, can we talk about how awesome they are to Harry on
Yes.
the platform?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Even
I
in-
mean, they have no idea who this kid is before they pick up his trunk, but they just know that he's alone. They help him take it up into the train and then realize it's Harry Potter.
I was first.
Come on. I was just going to say they're good people.
No, I'm like,
Yeah.
shout out to Arthur and Molly for
Yeah.
raising amazing humans.
Yeah.
Minus Percy.
No,
But
he
that's his
redeems.
own-
He redeems himself.
still don't
His
like
arc
him.
is amazing. You cannot deny it.
I don't care that he is like good later on. He is
Man.
bad.
Oh, I
Makes
thought you
his
were going to say
mother
something
very
else.
sad.
You guys have to like. God,
I
just
love
be-
Fred and George, though. Love
just gotta get
them.
it. He comes back.
Fred doesn't.
I really strongly dislike Percy.
That's okay.
So
He's the only one with curly hair.
You are
so I wonder if
entitled
he's
to your
adopted.
feelings.
I think
was
he
also-
probably
He's the redheaded stepchild.
He probably named his daughter Molly to make it up to his mom.
I would think
But
that may have
didn't
had
Fred
something to
dye
do
in
with
his
it.
arms all? Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but I still don't really like
Doesn't
him.
he wish he could have had those years back with
Guys,
Fred?
listen. People go through things, and sometimes they are crappy people, and then they grow and learn from it, and they change. And you have to appreciate the change
I
after.
mean, I agree. but I
Everybody
still don't have to
deserves
like him.
that chance to come back.
You still don't have to like him.
Okay, I'm just
I'm not saying he's a horrible human being anymore. He
Okay.
was for a significant
Just
period
be-
of my
and
life.
Show some empathy for people. Sometimes we
miss
make
Fred.
silly
I
Fred
have
choices.
and
no
George.
empathy ever.
Like,
Kidding.
That's why she's Slytherin.
I was gonna say I said the Slytherin.
All right.
So yeah, I was gonna go a little bit into the etymology of the Weasley family tree, but I think that might be a little bit much for now. So
That
Okay.
could be a
We could've-
Felix file.
yeah.
yeah,
Felix Files on the Weasleys.
And the Weasleys.
You guys,
It's going to feature Ed Sheeran starring as Charlie Weasley.
maybe that should be our intro music to the Felix Files. Some Ed Sheeran.
oh
song.
my
my
gosh.
I'm in love with the shape of your red hair. 'Cause I'm a Weasley.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh my god.
This
okay.
is what happens when we podcast.
so much
after no sleep.
coffee.
Yeah.
So we are on platform 9 3/4 now after Harry successfully makes his way through the barrier. And I thought it would be cool to talk about the origin because when I started looking it up, I had no idea about any of it. So the idea to have a Muggle train transport Hogwarts students came from Adeline Gamble. Not important, but I thought it was kind of cool. But it didn't actually work out until the Minister of Magic, who back in 1849,
Who was a woman?
who was a woman. Clearly, we have a lot to learn from the Wizarding World.
Yup.
Evangeline Orpington. She came up with the idea of adding a concealed platform at the newly built Muggle station, King's Cross. So overall, it's worked well ever since, although there's been the occasional dropping of a suitcase and a bunch of biting spellbooks have spilled onto the floor or newt spleens. But I thought this was super cool. There's usually a number of plainclothed Ministry of Magic employees on hand to alter any sort of Muggle memories at the start and end of each term.
Why didn't they see Harry and Ron at Chamber of Secrets?
Really good question.
Oh,
Hey, J.K.
That's a really good
Rowling.
question.
Dear Joe.
Maybe they were
It's a
busy.
plot hole right there.
That is, though. I
Maybe they're
mean,
taking a little break.
somebody should have been fired.
Maybe they were.
They could have been. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, but because it was so public, it was put in the papers. Obviously, when they got there, they got reamed out by Snape and McGonagall. And so, I want to know, like, did the ministry fire those people? And we're like, hey, you're not doing your job.
No.
They probably
But
did.
like, I wonder if Dobby did something to make it. That's probably what she'd be. She's like, no, Dobby like made them
She'll
go
cover it.
wherever.
But I'm okay
Dobby
with it.
confronted them.
she always
Dobby.
knows the answers.
She does.
Yeah, cool. It's
Well,
her world.
Those house elves have some kind of magic,
So I also thought this was
of magical.
it's cool that this is Harry's first experience in the magical world while he's surrounded by his own peers. There's kids of his own age all around him. There's the hustle and bustle of the real wizarding world. So there's cats of every color winding through people's legs. We see who we find out later is Lee Jordan. He's got this crowd around him, and they all scream when he opens a box of this gigantic tarantula.
Who will probably have met by now.
Oh,
We're gonna meet Lee Jordan and Muggle.
that's
Looking at
true.
live.
So why 9 3/4? Joe said that when she was choosing the number for the platform, she knew it would have to be a number between the actual or the already existing Muggle platforms. So clearly it had to be a fraction. And she said that 9 3/4 just presented itself without much thought at all. Can we please just hail the queen? And she liked it so much that she took it at once.
And that's my wand length.
Yes. Fun fact, I thought this was awesome. This poses the question, how many fractional platforms are there at King's Cross? Oh. Joe says that there's actually quite a few. She likes to think that there is a train that would take you to different wizard-only villages. Oh, say maybe platform 7.5. Oh. Or there could be platforms that are opened on an as-required basis for say there's a
concert.
Celestina Warbeck concert. Well, we're going to open this platform, shovel all these people through.
You guys are so fun.
My
mind
mouth is
blown.
my
I
mouth
know,
is
mine was
gaping.
the
I'm
same.
so pumped
I
about
you
never
it.
guys
thought
never
about
read
that.
that?
No, I thought it was so cool.
What, you think you're better than me?
No, I assumed because I'm like the one that like I don't read anything, and then I'm like, yeah, I read this.
No, but you were like reading Pottermore while we were podcasting. You were like, sorry, I'm reading Pottermore.
I don't pay attention to when they talk to me.
Katie, that's so cool.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
it was
that is
really neat.
cool.
Gosh.
Or a Weird Sisters concert.
Yeah.
I would love to see a Weird Sisters concert.
Didn't we decide
Or
are we in a
even
band?
I wonder if
A
that's
Swish and Flick concert because we're so cool.
I wonder
are
if
already
that's
a band,
how
right?
people get to
Yeah, I
the
think.
Quidditch World Cup sometimes, depending on where
Right.
it's located. Maybe they can open.
So they have all those port keys, but then
Right.
they also would have trains.
Yeah,
Brooms, whatever.
Because some people had to arrive they staggered arrivals and everything.
yeah, they were camping out. Some
Yeah,
people were there
that's
way
interesting.
early.
Yeah.
Like the Lovegoods were there for like a whole week before Harry and the Weasleys got
So
there.
Xenophilius to do that. He's
Are
probably
you
like,
talking about the World Cup?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know this super jumped ahead. We're on like Sorcerer's Stone, but okay.
it's all right. We talk about it all here, though.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Because this is a reread
Right.
of the Harry Potter series.
Reread?
We got all the info.
All the info.
All right, that's pretty cool.
All right, so we're going to talk about basically how you see Harry is, I don't know if we want to call him a celebrity, but he's
Oh, he is,
recognized.
though.
I mean, but
Yeah.
like
His
he
name-
wouldn't call himself a celebrity.
No, but
No.
everybody else in the Wizarding
So I
World
said-
does. Oh, he's
I bet
in
you not
books.
everybody calls him
He's
a celebrity.
in books, multiple books.
I'm in. Ooh.
Your
You
glasses
never
really
know.
wanted to ring that bell.
What's gonna happen at Swish and Flick? I don't even know how.
And that's always
her glasses
his name
just
is to
flew
me.
off her face.
Literally flew off her face.
Oh my god.
Poor Megan is gonna have the worst time. Okay, so this is the second time that Harry really sees himself getting recognized by just his scar. Oh, I mean, and kind of he looks like his dad. So the first time you see him in the Leaky Cauldron, how everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's Harry Potter! I gotta shake your hand. Let me kiss your feet. Praise you."
No one said that about the feet.
They did
They might
that
have
a
been
lot,
thinking
though.
about it. And now when you see it, when Fred and George, they instantly notice his scar while they're helping him put his trunk away. And they immediately are like, "Oh, are you Harry Potter?" blah, 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 blah. And they go and tell their mom. And they're like, guess who we just met? We met Harry Potter. And Ginny gets so excited because she's like, damn, I'm going to marry that man one day. And she wants to go on the train and see him almost like he's this big spectacle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was so funny how she like treats him like an attraction.
Yeah.
Like, oh, please,
and then
Mom, I
she
want to go
finds
see.
attraction with him.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
And so Ron gets into, like, sits in the train compartment with him. And he's like, oh my God, like he sees this car. He's like, oh my, are you really Harry Potter? And he's like, yeah, like that's me. And you know, for him, he doesn't really know, like, I mean, he knows why people know who he is, but he's not used to this.
It's brand
Do you
new.
really
Yeah.
have the scar?
And he asked him, like, is that really where it happened? Where, like, you see earlier, his mom is like, because Fred and George are like, oh, we should ask him. She's like, don't ask him any
Yeah.
questions. Like, the poor kid.
Molly's
like, why he
already being a mom
Yeah. She's like,
to him.
that's probably why he was all by himself. So she's already like, this poor kid, I know what happened. I was on their side. I knew your parents.
Wicked.
Yeah. And you even meet, so when Hermione meets him, and she's a Muggle-born. And so first of all, you see, she knows exactly who he is. And she's like, oh, well, in the movie, she says, holy cricket, you're Harry Potter.
Cricket.
Holy cricket, you're Harry Potter.
I'm Hermione Granger.
And you are.
Your husband. And so you see her, who's a Muggle-born. So she's almost in the same boat as Harry, where she finds out when she turns 11, she gets her Hogwarts letter and all this stuff, that she's magical. And you see, it's such a Hermione thing to be like, well, I read about you, actually. This is how I know all about you, because she's reading all these books. So you just see right off the bat that she's like this bookworm.
She's even like, you're in this book,
Yeah.
and this book, and this book.
so
Yeah.
she's like, she knows who Harry is because she read The Rise and Fall of the Dark Arts and the Great Wizarding Events of the 20th Century. And then you see Draco comes in with his little cronies, and he's like, I heard there's a rumor that Harry Potter's on this train. And he's like, is it true? Is that you? And like, I wonder what he's thinking when he's going, like,
Do you think
I
he
met you.
Yeah.
Like,
do you think he was thinking that?
I don't know.
Or do you think he was just such a conceited person where he was like, eh.
Be friends with me. I'm so amazing. I'm a Malfoy and
Yeah.
a pureblood. So like, whoop, whoop.
I read this. I don't know if this is like confirmed to be true or if it's just a theory, but I read that the reason why Draco tried so
Yeah.
hard to become friends with Harry is because they knew that Harry was the marked one by Lord Voldemort, and they assumed that that meant that Harry was going to be a dark wizard.
Yeah.
I think that's true,
So
though.
if
I think
they-
I
Do
read
I
something
cover
on
that?
Pottermore.
I don't know.
I think there's something. I think I read something about it on Pottermore.
Because
Something
Yeah.
similar.
no,
where, like,
you guys,
they
I
wanted-
covered that. I cover that in the step later.
Oh, see, there you go.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later if we let Tiffany speak again.
Stay tuned.
And so, and then I said, if you think about celebrities or like well-known wizards in the wizarding world, they all have chocolate frogs. So you see chocolate frog cards. They don't all, I mean, they might have chocolate frogs. Who knows? They might enjoy them. So you see first, he's so excited, and Ron collects all these cards too. And you see Dumbledore has his own, and then there's several other wizards that he has cards now too, because he bought the whole trolley of snacks. And so you see all these wizards that have done something great. And it's interesting to think, like, by the end of the series, not only does Harry have one, but so do Ron and Hermione. And Ron even says that's his greatest achievement is getting a chocolate frog card.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
And then I'm
Like,
like,
how cute is it that like we're in the beginning of the first book still, basically, and Ron is like, we hear that Ron is obsessed with chocolate frog cards,
And he's gonna
then
get
he gets
one.
He even bonds with Harry over them. And then
Yeah.
they kind of do this whole adventure together. So
And I'm like, how do you think Harry feels realizing that now, like, even more people know who he is, like people his own age? Like,
It has to be so overwhelming.
yeah, I can't imagine like going there and like you don't know everyone, but everyone knows you, and maybe they're assuming all these things about you. Like they're probably all, well, he defeated the Dark Lord. Like he's probably amazing, and he's like, I literally just found out 2 seconds ago I'm a wizard, so
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna be crap.
And how do you know?
And I think I'm gonna be a Hufflepuff, which nothing against Hufflepuffs.
Yeah, you better say
J.K.
that.
Rowling, whatever your name is. J.K. I can't talk.
Just say Joe.
Joe.
Yeah. Can we talk about that for a second, though? How she did this. She built.
We talked about them
the other
She,
one, yes.
she set Hufflepuffs up
For
for
failure.
failure, and I am sorry, Katie.
Thank you.
Because I think you're pretty amazing.
There's some great
Thank you.
Hufflepuffs in this world.
I think she redeemed it a lot later on with like Cedric being a Hufflepuff and Newt. I mean, Newt
Newt
is
is
like
her biggest
the
redemption.
coolest Hufflepuff,
I
and
think I
ever
disagree
think-
with that.
I
I know a
think-
pretty cool Hufflepuff.
yeah.
in the movies.
are you talking about me?
Maybe.
Maybe. There's another one as
I
well.
just think that There is another Hufflepuff.
There's another Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
And I just think that, like, even though Newt didn't graduate or anything like that, ever since Fantastic Beasts came out, Hufflepuffs have definitely gotten way more attention and more merchandise, like all kinds of stuff.
Can I just say though, as a Ravenclaw, can we get a movie about us, please? Because we're pretty cool people.
No.
No.
I want more.
I feel like the Potter movies were about Slytherin and Gryffindors.
Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw kind of switched spots after.
Yeah, and
Fantastic Beasts came out.
First of all, I really look good in blue. And I want more merchandise that has Ravenclaw on it because I'm not any other house but Ravenclaw. So give me some merch. I will buy it all.
Yeah, kind of like when I rolled into Target the one day over the summer and they had all the new backpacks out for kids. And of course I'm going to look at them because they're cool. They had like a bunch of like really cool Star Wars ones. And then there was like one Harry Potter one and it's Gryffindor. And I was like, yes, please. So I bought it. It's my podcasting backpack.
I think I might get a Slytherin backpack in Florida.
I bet you they don't even have Ravenclaw ones.
They do. They do.
It's the wizarding. They're going to represent the houses.
Kidding. I can't wait to buy my crew neck sweatshirt that I don't need, but I'm going to buy because I want it.
Those crew neck sweatshirts are the bomb. Okay, sorry. Totally off topic.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to talk about prefects. So you first hear about them when Percy pompously announces how the prefects have their own compartments at the front of the train. And as a very Percy thing to do, he talked about it the entire summer, apparently.
Oh, are you a prefect, Percy?
He's like his friend and George keep making fun of him for it. And so he spent the whole time talking about it. He's a prefect. And God only knows what he was saying. He was like, I'm head boy. And so you see he has a red and gold badge on. And I wonder, does every prefect, like in their house, is their badge their house color? I was thinking about that because I wondered. Because he's a Gryffindor. I just never thought about that before until I did a reread. I'm like,
maybe because their robes have their crests, so prefect badges might be just.
I wonder what they look like in the movie, though. Did we ever see them?
Well, why don't we Google image this?
Because Ron and Hermione were both prefects, correct?
Yeah, but not in the movies.
They didn't discuss that at all?
No.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Let's do a remake. I'll be Hermione.
Oh.
Ron, Ed Sheeran, I love you. You and your beautiful red face and hair.
Red face.
I just say red hair.
Okay, so I don't know. Harry Potter wiki has it. It's just like a shield with a P in it, but it's purple.
Oh, really? Well, the ones that they sell at the Wizarding World are the house colors.
Well, the Wizarding World is wrong.
So I don't know. Boy and head girl ones.
Head boy and head girl are also the color of the house that the.
I can see it going either way. That's a interesting thought.
Yeah.
You know, it could just be silver and gold, or what it.
Well, I guess
Percy's
gold,
is red and gold.
Silver and gold.
And so
this is Gryffindor colors, but I would just assume that that's a Gryffindor one.
I tried to look it up on Pottermore.
That is the pin from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter that you're looking at.
So are they all different house colors then?
Yes.
Probably.
Well, there you go.
I mean, give us your opinion. What do you think?
Head boy and head girl would have to be house colors because they're head boy and head girl of that house.
Yeah, but what?
No, there's only one.
There's only one.
No, there's one. Yeah.
Huh?
You didn't know that?
Prefects.
There's one head boy and one head girl for the
Prefects.
whole thing.
Well, I don't pretend to be
Prefects
perfect.
are
So
per
thank you for
house.
teaching me something.
Prefects are per house. Head boy, head girl are the whole school.
I don't like that. Should be the other way.
Why?
Because then you would have like a head boy managing the boys of the house.
No,
head girl.
Head boy and head girl have more responsibilities than the prefects do.
And the prefects
I
are the
want
ones
it
that take them to
my
the
way.
Well,
to
that's
their
not how
houses,
they do it.
to their common rooms. I mean, the prefects take them to the common rooms, so they would need to have one from each house.
Yeah.
The meme of Malfoy and Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Prefects take your houses back to their dormitories. But the trolls in the dungeon. Oh my God, Malfoy, you act like I even care.
So true.
We'll have to post that first.
And so I looked up, going back to talking about prefects. So I looked up because in America we don't really have anything like that. Well, I don't know.
I don't know if they do
I don't
it
know.
like boarding schools.
I don't know because
Would that be
we
like-
didn't have any. We didn't have anything like that in high
No.
school. But we just went to a normal school. Yes.
Really weak comparison would be like a hall monitor, I guess.
I guess.
Like the weakest comparison possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I looked it up, and it was
You
like
people in England are weird.
Hey, don't be mean to my Englanders.
Oh, JK, we love you.
I'm just joking.
JK,
JK as in just kidding.
rolling. In England, they have prefects in some schools who are like senior students that have the authority to enforce discipline. It's very similar to what they can do at Hogwarts. So it's interesting to see, like, that's probably where Jo got it from, was because she clearly was born and raised in England and knows all about the schooling system because she went there and I did not because I've never been.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are we moving on? Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm paying attention.
We're moving on to Ed Sheeran.
Ron
Weasley.
Thank you. I needed someone to finish that. So when we meet Ron, he like tries to like sneak a peek at Harry's scar subtly, but he's Ron, so nothing about him is subtle.
I love Ron.
And he has a dirty nose, you guys.
Book Ron is the bomb.
He really
Oh,
is.
good.
But here's the thing, like when they tried to make him like the comic relief in the movies, he was already a comic relief in the
Yes.
books.
Agreed.
Well,
Yeah.
here's my thing. I will say this in defense of the movies.
Go
I
ahead.
love Rupert Grint.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Love
Perfect
him.
cast.
Yes.
It was the writing.
Yeah.
They gave
They
all his
got-
good lines to Hermione. Not that she didn't have her own good lines.
She did.
But
They got
it makes
so
me so
lucky
mad
with
about
the
the
trio.
slug thing.
The golden
Like,
trio.
how was she gonna know what a muggle is? She is a muggleborn. How would she know that? Not from any of her books. Ron is the one that says it in the movies.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
there's like all right, so then we meet Ron and he like subtly tries to sneak a peek at Harry's scar. He's got dirt on his nose. He's looking a little messy and he blurts out, "Are you really Harry Potter?" And I love that he like just like can't he's excited about it. I mean, like
Yeah.
that's like a really big deal. I got to figure if I see like a celebrity out, I'm going to be like looking at him like trying to figure it out. And maybe I would ask, I don't know. I think I'm too shy. But we find out a little bit about Ron. We find out that he comes from a family of all wizards, aka purebloods. And that kind of makes Harry like kind of like dips his confidence down a little bit because he doesn't find like a similarity with him with that because he comes from a muggle household and then this guy's a wizard family. He's going to know everything. But then
It's funny. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
Go
but
ahead.
I just find it funny that Ron is intimidated by Harry, but Harry is also intimidated by Ron
Yeah.
in different ways.
yeah.
But it's like probably kind of like a yin yang thing where like
Right.
where
Oh, yeah.
Harry lacks things Ron doesn't,
Yes.
vice versa.
But they don't
they
know
balance
that yet.
each other out. Yeah.
So they are like, oh my God, this person's going to be so much better than me. They're
Yeah.
going to know so much more than me. But when in reality, they are the perfect pair.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Are they going to get together?
Maybe.
Is that really who they're going to get married to?
Maybe.
It's
Check
all a
out
front.
fan fiction for that.
Yes.
So we find out that Ron is part of the original 40. That it's like original 40 names of students that she had written down for the school. I should have put the thing
Which
in
is
there.
really cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
So she pulled, and you can see like she has all these names from way back when, and then she'll pull them like randomly in later books, and you'd never heard the names before, but she always knew those students were there.
Yeah, and sometimes she like changes their names up.
Like Hermione was Hermione Puckle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hermione Granger
Yeah.
is so much better.
Oh, I know.
I'm gonna pull up the original. 40
Malfoy had a
doc,
different
actually.
name too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Last name?
All right, so
Did.
Yeah, I
do
can't
you,
remember.
that's a lot of names. I'm just gonna do the ones that
We
she
never
wrote. So she inserted Hermione's name in pencil and crossed it out, and then she crossed it out and then reinsert it. So it was so she wrote Hermione Granger, changed it to Hermione Puckle, and then changed it back, which I thought was kind of funny. And then Neville was one of them.
And Neville went through a couple name iterations as well with Longbottom.
Did he used to be High Bottom?
He was Neville Puff.
Oh wait, that made no sense. Short Bottom is what I was trying to reference.
There were a couple that I.
Yeah. First,
Dean Thomas is on there too, isn't he?
let me look. It's an ABC winner.
Currently dating Dean Thomas.
Gary Thomas.
Oh, that's
Gary. He's so
Gary
much more
Thomas.
a Dean.
Dean.
weird. Terry Boot is on there. I know that. I remember that one.
Oh, side bottom was
That's
Neville.
right.
Side. so
Side
Neville was a long bottom, a side bottom, and a puff. And then Quirrell was used and then crossed out and used for a teacher instead. There was she had a Lily Moon, which was her first go at Luna Lovegood. And
She didn't know when she wrote that Harry's mom was going to be named Lily, I believe.
So she later decided to make it Harry's mom's name. But she wanted like an idea for a dreamy girl. So that's Luna's.
Lily Moon is a good name for that too, but Luna Lovegood is perfect.
And then Draco was inserted in ink too, and then he was crossed out. Where is he back again? I don't know. It says see below, but I can't find it. Anywho, and Ron was never changed.
That's right.
So he was part of the original 40,
He
and then
was
he stayed
never
that way.
Ed Sheeran.
You know what? Maybe he was.
He is in my dreams.
No, he is Rupert Grint. I had the biggest crush on Rupert Grint when I was younger. So my room was the upstairs of my house, and it was kind of like you walk upstairs and there's this just like common area and then a bedroom. And I had turned the common area into this like Harry Potter shrine, and it was all my Harry Potter stuff. And
You still have a shrine.
Oh, I know. I had an entire wall. And my mom got so mad at me because she bought new ink for the printer, and I just printed literally like probably 50 pictures of Rupert Grint on the printer. And I just plastered them all over my wall, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Yep.
You are the coolest thing ever.
Some of them
Thanks.
are still up.
Some of them are still up.
I love
on the
it.
wall. Maybe I'll take a picture next time I'm home.
There you go. So let's go into like his Potter kind of profile. So his first one is 12-inch Ashwood and Unicorn from Charlie, hand-me-down wand. You'll hear more about our feelings on wands in our Felix File episode.
Can we talk about him?
X-Files.
Yes. No, we don't talk about him, but we talk about
His wand.
the hand-me-down kind of wands.
He has a hand-me-down, which I don't think is fair. But
Charlie should have just bought him a new one.
We
Or
say this.
Bill.
So his second wand was a 14-inch willow and unicorn hair.
It's a very large wand.
It is a very long wand. It's a very long wand, seeing as how Hagrid's is 16. Ron's
Yeah.
I mean, he is tall and like gangly. Yeah. So that kind of matches. I love his Patronus. It's a Jack Russell Terrier.
I'm jealous.
Cute.
Yeah.
Do you know what Jack Russell Terriers are known to do?
Yes.
Chase
but go ahead.
otters. And do you know what Hermione's Patronus
otter.
is?
Otter.
Yep.
True love, guys.
How cute.
So stinking cute. His
I love them
skills are
Same.
wizard chess and Quidditch goalkeeping, which I
Not
think
at
is a
first.
stretch.
He does get a lot better once he gets confidence.
Right.
That's it. I just think he was lacking confidence.
Yeah.
Don't bash my Ron because I love him. Okay.
Okay, I thought Hagrid's was
But
yours.
in the fifth,
Oh, he's
in
my
the
number
fifth
one.
book, he was really terrible. For the most
Because he
part.
was so nervous.
That's
I know,
teenage
I know.
angst, guys.
That's how
Oh,
I
I
would
know.
get Quidditch.
And then his hobbies are supporting the Chudley Cannons and eating sweets. Or eating it
Yeah.
says eating sweets on Pottermore, but like Ron
eating
just like
everything.
he pounds down food.
So, if anyone's ever seen the A Harry Potter musical, which is hilarious and I think really well done for what it is, the guy that plays Ron is literally eating in every single scene, and it's always something different.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So let's go. I said that Ron is one of Harry's greatest teachers in the wizarding world. And then Harry teaches Ron about the Muggle world too. And then they really bond with each other over food in that
All the
in the
time.
compartment, like that first train trip. And so we learn a little bit more about Ron. He like seems down about his large family, and you can tell that he feels overshadowed. And later we discover that the Weasley family is not wealthy, and that's where kind of Harry and Ron connect, and they talk about like, well, you know, like Harry didn't have anything, and even though like now he's like crazy rich, but I think that's something that he can really like empathize with Ron about, and he knows what it feels like to have nothing or like hand me down things. And so I think that kind of connection can bring them a lot closer.
Yeah.
I just like think about when you hear about all the other pureblood families, like they might have 2 kids, they might have whatever, they have 7 kids. So like that's got it. Well, I mean, you don't pay for Hogwarts, but you have to pay for everything else for it, like the robes and
It gets expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like interesting. I'm like, I wonder if first of all, could the other ones wanted more kids and they couldn't have them, or they just wanted the one kid and they're like, no, the Weasleys are like the more the better, and then
I think,
love is better than money. So
I think they're just a family that loves family.
yeah,
And, if they could have all those kids, then they wanted to have them, as many as
God would give them.
Yeah. And like, I don't know.
I want 26.
I just love them. I love the Weasleys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, you can see how uncomfortable Ron gets discussing money.
Yeah.
Especially in front of Harry after he buys all of this food for them and everything. Even before that, because he says, oh no, I've got this sandwich. I'm not gonna, whatever. I think that Harry makes him feel so much better, though, because he's telling him about how he has to wear Dudley's old clothes, and it seems to make Ron feel a lot better about his situation at home. And I actually pulled a little passage from the book, which I thought would be cool to read, where it just talks about, it's just Ron and Harry talking about Ron's situation. So I'm going to read it really quick.
Go ahead.
It starts with Ron talking. Just
Get
so
your
that everybody
narrator
knows.
voice.
This is my narrator voice. You never get anything new either with 5 brothers. I've got Bill's old robes, Charlie's old wand, and Percy's old rat. Ron reached inside his jacket and pulled out a fat gray rat, which was asleep. His name's Scabbers, and he's useless. He hardly ever wakes up. Percy got an owl from my dad for being a prefect, but they couldn't have... I got Scabbers instead. Ron's ears went pink. He seemed to think he'd said too much because he went back to staring out of the window. Harry didn't think there was anything wrong with not being able to afford an owl. After all, he'd never had any money in his life until a month ago, and he told Ron so, all about having to wear Dudley's old clothes and never getting proper birthday presents. This seemed to cheer Ron up. And until Hagrid told me, I didn't know anything about being a wizard or about my parents or Voldemort.
Aw.
Yeah.
And that is when Ron is like, oh, you said his name, which is...
Taboo.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And doesn't Harry even say I didn't know I can't say it?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
He's like, this is all so new to me. I have no clue that you're not supposed to say that name or what he even really is, any of that. So it's just, this is a really good first intro into Ron being Harry's teacher about the Wizarding world and vice versa, with Harry being Ron's teacher about the Muggle world, as we said before.
Mm-hmm. So we thought it'd be super cool to talk about the candy on the Hogwarts Express.
So much candy.
So much candy. Because Harry has all this gold now rattling in his pockets. He's an 11-year-old kid. He cannot wait to spend it on all of these amazing treats. So he says he's ready to buy as many Mars bars as he possibly can. But the trolley doesn't have Mars bars. Let's get real, Harry. It's got way cooler stuff than that.
Yeah.
So it's got Bertie Bott's every flavor beans, Drubal's best blowing gum, chocolate frogs, pumpkin pasties, cauldron cakes, licorice wands, and a number of other strange things Harry had never seen in his life.
Which, literally, all of those things are sold in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
All those things and more.
I'm just going to jump real quick in here and say that we had discussed potentially doing a candy tasting during this episode, which I thought would be really fun.
Not potentially, we are going to do it.
No. I'm saying
in the episode.
We potentially, we talked about...
we're going to film it.
We talked about potentially doing it in this episode, right now. This is what we would have been doing. But we have not been to the Wizarding World yet. And I thought that it would be way cooler to buy the candy there because they have way more options than the candy that you can find in normal stores. And then we're going to make a vlog about it and actually do it down in the Wizarding World.
You can watch us gag on
You
Bertie
can
Bott's
watch us
beans.
gag on Bertie Bott's Every Flavor Beans. And I think that it's going to be a blast. So this is getting posted the weekend that we're going to be down there this episode. And then we're going to record this vlog while we're there. And I'm hoping to get it posted in the middle of the week this coming week.
Yeah.
Well, it might even be before if we just put it up there without editing.
That's true.
We'll see.
It's
We'll see
going
how
to
it
depend
works.
on, yeah.
Just keep your eyes out. It might be out, it might not, but it will be out by the end of the week.
We appreciate your eyes.
And your ears.
It'll be good fun.
So it's going to be really cool, especially because they just changed the recipe for cauldron cakes and they look really yummy. And it'll be really cool to get a legitimate chocolate frog with the cool cards.
Yes.
The cards are so cool.
Do you think I have a chocolate frog card?
No.
You'll have to
I'm a
buy some.
celebrity.
You'll have to buy some and see if you're in there.
They did just add Gilderoy Lockhart as a card, though.
Nice.
Really?
We have one, Katie.
Oh. My bad.
They released it at the celebration weekend in January.
That's right. That's right. So I wanted to point out that I think this is another example of Harry forever proving to us that the Dursleys not only failed to squash the magic out of him, but they couldn't make him a terrible person, because he gets all this candy and he sees Ron with his sandwich that he doesn't even like because his mom doesn't have enough time because there's so many of them, and he insists that Ron helps him eat his way through all of these sweets. And I just think it's so typical that Ron and him would bond over food.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned before.
Yeah.
So on to chocolate frogs. This is the first time that Harry gets to see Dumbledore. He opens this chocolate frog and he gets this card. And I think it's funny to point out that Ron thinks it's weird that pictures don't move in the Muggle world.
Yeah.
So Albus Dumbledore's card. Go ahead.
I also want to point out that I want to plug a little thank you to Apple here for creating live photos, because it makes me feel like all of my photos are Wizarding World photos.
Oh, I was like, where are you going with that? Yeah, you're right. That's really funny.
As
Oh,
soon
the
as
one
they-
on vacation with at the tasting. Do you remember that? No? Moving on.
I think I do.
As
I was
soon-
gonna say sometimes those Apple pictures that are live pictures, it's spot on, and you do some like people like the people have disappeared in
Yeah,
the whole.
no,
picture.
that's what it was on vacation.
it?
Yeah, somebody
Oh,
was
it's so
there
good.
and then they disappeared in the picture. It was
is so good. I love
crazy.
it.
Yeah, I love it.
Probably to go to another portrait.
Yeah, they had things to do, people to see.
So I'm just going to read Dumbledore's card just because it's short and sweet and it's kind of cool to learn about him. It says, Albus Dumbledore, currently headmaster of Hogwarts. Though not anymore now, sorry.
Can I ask a question?
Nope.
Or whatever Dumbledore. Does it change? Like, what if? So you have a card. You have Albus Dumbledore's card, and it's now 2017. Does it say was the Hogwarts headmaster
In
between
whatever
these
year?
dates? Do you think
I'm
the card
sure.
itself changes?
I
though?
bet it does.
Yeah.
Or
Like not like new
I
cards.
know
I'm
what
saying
you mean.
your old cards.
Magical.
Like it's Bewitched?
It just
Yeah.
changes. Yeah. No,
it's like
yeah.
always updating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like it'll
God,
probably
how
have
cool
like
would that
birthday,
be?
death day, and
Do you think the picture changes? Like when the card came out, was Dumbledore young and then now he's.
I don't know about that, because it's a picture and that's supposed to
That's true. The picture
hold
stays the same.
that moment in time.
That's
Well,
true.
Because
Hey, listen,
but would it update? You know, would they
Maybe
like
if
here?
they
We need a new
decide.
version of Dumbledore because he invented blah blah blah, and now we need to change it, get a new picture.
Maybe.
But here's the thing, listeners, let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that they changed the pictures? Do you think that the card itself changed? I mean, when Dumbledore died, sad tweet.
Sad tweet. Okay, so Dumbledore, considered by many
R.I.P..
the greatest wizard of modern times, Dumbledore is particularly famous for his defeat of the Dark Wizard Grindelwald in 1945, for the discovery of the 12 uses of dragon blood. Please, Joe, tell us what those are. And his work on alchemy with his partner, Nicholas Flamel. Professor Dumbledore enjoys chamber music and 10-pin bowling, which that's just Dumbledore.
I cannot wait to see the defeat of Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts.
Can I just ask a question?
about it
And
all
this
the
is
time.
a dumb question. Is 10-pin bowling just bowling?
I think.
Yeah, there's 10 pins.
Why?
I think there's different versions of bowling, though.
Is
That's
there?
just like classic bowling, I
Oh.
think.
Hello, internet.
But I just want to point out, so
I'm
I
so
don't know if
excited.
anybody doesn't know this who's listening, but the Fantastic Beasts movies are going to end in 1945. So theoretically, the ending of that series should be the fight between Dumbledore and Grindelwald.
Do you think that they have anything? Do you think that World War II affected the Wizarding world at all?
I'm sure.
it had
So I
to.
wonder if they're going to touch on that in Fantastic Beasts.
It has to. They do
well,
mention being in
Jacob
the war.
talks about the war.
And Newt. They talk about both being in the war.
His brother was in the war.
Yeah, but
Newt's
Thaddeus.
brother.
Is his name Thaddeus?
was
Yeah.
he in the war for that?
Yeah.
So they were part of the war.
Interesting.
What I'm sorry, I was looking up bowling. The original war, like Voldemort's war.
No,
yeah,
no,
what we were
World
Or
War
Grindelwald's
II.
war.
Newt
Oh!
Scamander's,
Yeah.
Newt
Oh.
Scamander's brother was in the war.
Wasn't
I
Newt
think it may
too?
have-
Didn't he say something about being on the dragon lines or something?
It had to be two.
Oh, maybe.
It was the time.
Well, because it says that it ends in, what'd you say a year?
45.
1945.
That's like the last
And-
movie.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
Would you like to hear a couple versions of bowling?
Yeah.
Why not?
All right. So most common types of bowling are 10-pin bowling, 9-pin bowling, candlepin bowling, duck pin bowling, and 5-pin bowling.
Do they use real ducks?
I would hope not.
They're probably painted like ducks. It's the clone of the ducks. Shout out to
Rugrats.
Rugrats.
Okay. So yeah, I'm sorry. So
No, go ahead.
World War II is 39 to 45. So definitely,
Yeah.
young.
Wait, so the movie we just watched
So that's
ended?
World War. Is that World War
That's two.
One?
That's two.
World War One was in the
39 to
10s.
45.
Yeah, so that hasn't happened in that first movie yet.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
The second one.
yeah, so
the
it'll-
second one ends.
So the
No, wait, what?
Didn't you say
are
the
saying?
second, the movie that's coming out?
No,
What
the
did you say?
entire
Last
series
movie.
will end in 1945.
So we should potentially
we're in the
see
20s
I
right
hope
now.
the
so.
war.
Yes.
Because I think that'd be so interesting just to see.
How it affects them.
Yes, because you kind of get to see a little bit of how like the Wizarding War in the Harry Potter series affects the Muggles. So I wonder how the World War II affects the wizards.
I was just gonna say that because the Wizarding world affects muggles, it would be vice versa too. I mean, because if
It'll
you
be
have
so interesting to see,
guns,
though.
I mean, guns and artillery and all that, like that's it's crazy.
Who do you think would win in a fight, a gun or a Avada Kedavra?
Avada Kedavra.
Yeah.
Kedavra is
Yeah,
an
but, like,
instant for
but-
sure kill.
But how quick is it though? Like, because you shoot.
you
the spot,
can-
It's as quick as you can think it.
I know, but you can move and not get hit by the green light. Is what I'm saying.
You could
So
heal
how-
a gunshot wound, though. You can't
Yeah,
heal Avada
not
Kedavra.
to the head or right through the heart, or if it explodes.
This is like deep.
I'm just things to think about.
I don't know.
Because can't you, like, if I shot Avada Kedavra at Tiffany, which I would never do, and
well,
she
thank
moved
you.
out of the way, she
You
wouldn't
can
get
mo-
hit,
you can
correct?
move out of the way
She
of a
would.
bullet, right?
She might not
Correct.
get hit.
I can dodge. You can
You can
dodge a bullet.
Avada Kedavra.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Because if you think about in Goblet of Fire, Voldemort throws Avada Kedavra at Harry a couple times, and he does
Yes,
jump
I'm
out of
not-
the way of it.
Behind gravestones.
I'm
yeah.
not saying you can't. What I'm saying is... 'cause
Which would
you-
win?
Because you can get out of the way, because it's the green light, the spell is in the light, correct? That's the spell going
Yeah.
to him. So what's quicker, a spell or a bullet?
Spell.
That's what I'm asking. I don't know.
I think a
Well,
spell.
we can't try it, so
Joe, can you tell us how it actually is real and where to find a wizard? And so we're gonna practice. We won't shoot people. We'll get like
targets.
yes.
Back
And
to
we'll see.
Dumbledore's card.
This is
know.
kind of how did we get
I don't know.
chocolate frogs to shooting guns?
It's an interesting thought. Go on.
All right.
Back to Dumbledore's card. I did look up if we know any of the uses of dragon's blood, and the only use that J.K. Rowling has ever revealed is that the 12th use is oven cleaner.
Interesting.
Yeah. She said, what are the 12 uses for dragon's blood? And J.K. responded, I have a very good reason for not telling you. The movie scriptwriter wants me to give him that information for the film, but I can say that the 12th use is oven cleaner.
Interesting.
What?
Something so like simple and how
So random. Like,
Do you
why
think-
is that such a big deal? I think
Well-
we'll probably learn it in Fantastic Beasts.
I don't know.
Is going to be my guess.
Well, I want to know: is one of the uses of dragon's blood a use for creating a Horcrux, which she will also not reveal?
Apparently, it's
Interesting.
a horrific thing.
Well, you have to kill someone.
I mean,
No, like the
apparently,
actually, like even more involved than that. It's supposed to be
it's
like
a little bit
disgusting.
of.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Cannibalism.
She told her editor, and her editor like almost got sick.
yeah. And
But
that's
again,
why
I
they.
don't
That's
think-
what
I
I'm
don't
thinking.
think-
I mean, will you not reveal it because
It's tied in.
it's tied in? That would be
I think
interesting.
I read an interview. I believe. I don't know if I'm just pulling this out of my butt, but I think that she will not reveal how to create a Horcrux in fear that someone may try to do it.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
exactly what I heard as well. And so please don't tell us because
we never need to know how
I
to
don't
make
I
a
don't
Horcrux.
I don't need that.
And you know that people would. You
Oh,
know that
yeah.
for a fact. There's
Yeah.
some.
Yeah, some people are crazy.
Well, there's some strange people in the world, and you know, you do you. Don't hurt.
But don't
people.
do that.
But don't. But,
But-
don't do that.
But yeah, I've heard like rumor that it has to do with like cannibalism and all this
Yeah.
gross, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Blah.
And
Okay,
you know
can we talk about something else? Because it's gonna make me want to vomit.
no, we'll totally do an episode all about Horcruxes.
Yeah, for sure in the
Yeah.
future.
And we can come up with our own theories and
Boo you,
speculations.
Horcrux.
So I thought that it would be fun to talk about the other witches and wizards that Harry and Ron open. And I'm gonna do Merlin because I wanted Merlin because I'm a Slytherin.
Merlin's
He's
beard.
a Slytherin. So the Order of Merlin, which not Harry. Well, I think Harry probably does get it eventually in the future.
Oh,
but-
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
Dumbledore has an Order of Merlin. It commemorates the most famous wizard of the time, which legend and okay, hold on. Let me restart.
Okay.
Merlin is a Slytherin, which is why I wanted him. And I thought that it was really cool because Merlin is the wizard behind the Order of Merlin that the Ministry of Magic gives out to people. So apparently there's a green ribbon for the first class, which is supposed to reflect Merlin's Hogwarts house.
So I'm reading about the Order of Merlin right now on I almost said Potterbean was going to come out of my mouth. Potterbean. It's a new website.
Thank you for listening on Podbean.
On Pottermore. And it's interesting that Cornelius Fudge, the Minister for Magic, awarded himself a first-class Order of Merlin for a career that many consider less than distinguished.
Cornelius
That sounds
Fudge,
like him.
dude.
Your ego is so big that you gave it to your... Ooh.
Oh my god.
He's a mess, you guys. I can't even with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also medieval... Merlin is from the medieval time, though the dates are unknown. He's the most famous wizard of all time, sometimes known as the Prince of Enchanters, part of the court of King Arthur. Mm-hmm. That's what's on Merlin's chocolate frog card. He was a wizard who lived during the medieval era. Little is known of his past, but he was a member, I just repeated myself,
That's all right.
of King Arthur's court, which is super cool, I think, and arguably one of the most powerful wizards of all time.
Who would win in a match, Merlin or Dumbledore?
Oh, Dumbledore.
Merlin.
Whoa!
Merlin.
Let's lightning bolt this. Sarah says Merlin. Katie?
I don't know. You don't know enough about Merlin.
I guarantee you it's Merlin.
I don't know. Maybe Dumbledore's the new Merlin of the time.
Ayo. And you said...
Dumbledore, quickly.
I say Dumbledore as well. Only having referenced Grindelwald and Voldemort.
Maybe we can do this as an episode with Second Breakfast.
Hey,
Yes.
second breakfast.
Call us
How are
if you want to talk to us.
So then my other card was Albric Grunion, and this is pretty short and sweet. He is the inventor of the dung bomb. So basically, like Fred and George, hail him.
Pretty much. So I had, how do you say that? Circe?
I would say that.
Circe?
I wonder if that has anything to do with Game of Thrones, Cersei.
Good.
Gross. Don't like her.
Considered like a goddess of magic, or sometimes called a nymph, a witch, an enchantress, or sorceress in Greek mythology. By most accounts, they call her the daughter of the sun god Helios. In other accounts, the daughter of Hecate. I think Hecate, the goddess of witchcraft. So Circe was renowned for vast knowledge of potions and herbs. And through the use of these and a magic wand or staff, she would transform enemies or those who offended her into wild beasts. Some say that she was exiled to a solitary island. And later traditions tell of her leaving or even destroying the island and moving to Italy, where she was identified with Cape. Oh,
Circeo?
Circeo? Circeo? All right.
Circeo.
I don't know.
I wonder if she invented any sort of special potion
I
in
know.
the Wizarding World.
I know.
Yeah, because
That'd be
usually,
interesting.
like the Potter family, all the like weird potions they created, but obviously this is like super
Way back when.
Way back when,
Yeah.
like maybe I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
Maybe she invented the Polyjuice potion because she would transform her enemies.
Oh.
Ooh.
I like it.
but I don't know that. Information
Joe,
might
tell us.
Might be out there.
So for now, it's a Megan theory until we discover otherwise. Then I also had Morgana, and so her name's derived from like Old Welsh, and it means seaborn. And there's like a lot of different names that she goes by, and some of them I can't pronounce. So it said that she's like a shape-shifting female saint who is associated with the sea. And a lot of people call her like Morgan Le Fay, for meaning a fairy. And she's like a supernatural female from Celtic mythology. And main name could be connected to myths of Morgans, which is Welsh, not wealth. And they're like water spirits. So, and then all of I think is King Arthur when I hear like Morgana or Morgan Le Fay, and we were talking about like the Merlin thing, and so
I don't think that we know who created the Polyjuice Potion.
All right.
So just to jump in.
We're going to say
I'm
it's that
trying to-
person then, seriously.
I think that's
Me?
a
I
great
think
theory.
that's just, and actually the Polyjuice Potion, the etymology of it is Greek.
Oh,
Was that person Greek?
Well, yeah.
yeah.
Heyo.
Poly is Greek, meaning many.
We may have just.
Breakthrough.
Yep.
Guys, I'm a genius.
That was sweet.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
All right, moving on.
So I was given the two
I was given.
people to talk about whose names the reader who is the least qualified to say things because they don't know how to pronounce words.
I did terrible with my pronunciation.
Is it Hengist or Hengist?
Hengris.
Tengris
You're missing an R.
Oh, see? Can't even type.
and Paraclesis.
Hengris.
Paracelsus.
Paracelsus.
Oh, I thought you said
Paracelsus.
Clesis.
I think it's Clesis.
It's
I don't
DL.
yeah, I know, but it's like, I don't know. Okay.
So,
Paracelsus.
like that.
Thank you, Siri.
It says Pericles. It's not right.
So
Go ahead.
I couldn't find a terribly large amount of information on these people. But for is there an R? I don't think
Yes.
there is because when I Google him, there's not an R.
Oh, really? Maybe you just spelled it wrong in the doc. Or I did, rather, because I made the doc. Sorry.
So it says on the HP lexicon, Hengist of Woodcraft was a Scottish wizard who founded Hogsmeade and possibly lived in what is now the Three Broomsticks. And he attended Hogwarts because he is listed as a Hufflepuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, so his biggest claim to
The
fame is he
founder
founded
of Hogsmeade was a
Hogsmeade.
Hufflepuff, Katie.
Shout out.
You gotta
You
love,
love Hogsmeade.
You gotta
I
love
do.
Hufflepuffs.
I do.
And then with Paraclesis, is that how we're saying his name?
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
How are you pronouncing it?
I guess Paracelsus.
Celsus?
That just doesn't
That's not-
sound right, though.
I agree, but I don't know.
He is a secretive wizard, and I believe he was a real human being.
Yeah. That's why I'm pretty sure it's Paraclesis.
I believe you.
He was born in
It's
Switzerland.
confusing.
While his real name is Philippus. Well, I don't know if this is the one she's talking about or if she's making up her own human, but I'm guessing not. So let's see if Sarah can read this name because it's long with a lot of words. It's Philippus Areolus Theophralitus. I can't even. Oh
My God, it's longer than Dumbledore's name.
Hohenheim,
Oh, interesting.
but more commonly known as Paraclesis, and he was a secretive wizard or alchemist about whom very little is known. This is on the Harry Potter Wikia, so I don't know how much of this is actually correct.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because it's
to
kind of like
pull-
Wikipedia.
Right. It's hard to pull good information off there.
And so this says he is credited with discovering Parseltongue, which is interesting.
Oh.
He's a contemporary of Copernicus and Leonardo da Vinci, a medical genius whose bold theories challenged medieval thought. So it's interesting. And I mean, they said that he was a Swiss alchemist, physician, astrologer, and philosopher. And that's coming from the encyclopedia, New World Encyclopedia.
So I had Agrippa, which I got my information from Harry Potter lexicon. There wasn't really a lot to see, but his full name is Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. He was an alchemist and a celebrated wizard imprisoned by Muggles for his writing because they thought his books were evil. Ron is missing this one from his collection, and he dates all the way back to 1486. And I had Ptolemy, I believe that's how you say it. Mm-hmm. He was an Egyptian geographer and astronomer around 100 to 170 AD. That's literally all I could find on these people.
Oh, I found how to pronounce it. Paraclesis. We're wrong.
What did I say?
Paracelsus.
Paracelsus.
Hufflepuff
So
got
pretend-
it right.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Can I just say, pretend that you heard
lose.
Paracelsus the entire time I said Paraclesis. And then I was correct the whole time.
Do you remember, like, when reading Greek mythology, like,
I
hearing it
remember
pronounced
hearing that
that way?
name.
I know. I remember Paraclesis.
Yeah, same thing. Okay.
So maybe my teachers just pronounced it wrong when we talked about Greek mythology.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be. All right, we're gonna move on to Hermione Granger.
My favorite character.
So it's Hermione Jean Granger. Her birthday is September 19th, 1979. It's
coming up.
I'm sorry, Hermione, that I just
yeah.
outed your age.
I don't think she cares.
Well, she might.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Her wand is a dragon heartstring core, 10 3/4 inches, and it's vine wood.
Vine wood.
I find it very odd that she's a dragon heartstring.
Why?
What is Dragon Heartstring?
But she's
Because
very
that-
powerful, Meg.
She is very powerful. I agree with that. But aren't dragon heartstring ones sometimes like a little temperamental? They sometimes move to the dark side.
I think she has a little, because you see her
She's
change
definitely
completely. Like, you know what I mean? She in the
Yeah.
first book or second book, she's making polyjuice potions. She's stealing stuff from Snape.
True.
I
I digress.
I think that. Pardon.
The wand chooses the wizard.
Well,
Megan.
I think you have to think of the way that the core and the wood
Work together.
work
True.
together. So when you're looking at vine wood, which I had never even looked at before, even as when we were recording our special episode yesterday, it's for wizards who seek a greater purpose or have a vision beyond the ordinary, and frequently
That's Hermione.
astound those who think they know them best.
True.
So you
Yeah.
think you know her, but you have no idea. This is the true life of Hermione Granger.
But it's so true. Like I think that describes her perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
is
her
true.
I
wand
think-
is perfect.
I think that people underestimate her, and I think that
Yeah.
Ron and Harry even underestimate her.
Yeah.
So she was swatted into Gryffindor.
Swatted.
Swatted.
Though she was almost a hat stall. Did you know that?
Yes,
Yes.
between
Yeah.
that and Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Do you think the only hat stall of the Golden Trio was Ron? He never had one. I think
No,
he was
he's
always
like, you're
he's
full-on
full
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But I
Raven,
think that no, Harry was, because he was also asking not anything but Slytherin.
Neville asked to be put in Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff,
That's why
yeah.
I see. But she even says, she's like, he's not really a hat stall, because first of all, he wasn't sitting there for more than 5
Right.
minutes, and he was asking to be put in Hufflepuff, and the hat's like, dude, no,
you have no
I
idea.
know what's gonna happen. I know who you really are,
And that's-
you just need to get some confidence, and you're gonna be in a Gryffindor.
and that's why the hat songs always had that warning in them, which they
Yeah.
left out of the movies.
I know.
The hat always had warnings of, what was coming, what was happening, what they needed to do to band together to fight this. And the hat always
Hat knows.
knows.
And
Wow.
with Hermione, a lot of people really don't think she should be in Gryffindor, and I
Why?
strongly disagree with that.
I
Well,
think she's
because
so brave.
I agree, but some people are like, no, she's definitely more wise than brave, and I'm like, I
But
don't know about
no.
that.
It's
No.
what you value.
It's what you value and not
Yes.
necessarily what you are. And she says that at the end of the first book, directly to Harry,
And as much as she is very intelligent, she's one of those people that's very book smart. And there's some things like you see when she's trying to set up the stuff for Dumbledore's army, and she picks the Hog's Head, and they're like, why would you go somewhere? And you need to they're like, as much as you are so intelligent and you're so smart, it would have been smarter to go somewhere where there's more people so they're not listening to your
Right.
conversations.
Yeah, right.
So there's some things where she's lacking because no one's perfect. And I think that you see her
But that-
willing to do anything for her friends. Like even
Yeah.
Ron, this is why Ron, Harry, and Hermione are
perfect
yes.
together.
And they every time Harry's like, no, I got to do this alone. They're like, especially in the 7th book, they're like, dude, you got to get over it. We're here till the end.
Yeah.
If you go, we go with you.
I
We're
think
not
that-
leaving.
And you have to think about her bravery, and you're going to get into this, but protecting a house elf's rights. She's going against the entire wizarding world with the idea of giving house elves freedom.
and pay.
That's brave.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that also that the 4th book I think starts a lot of her she's brave before the 4th book, but I think that really stands out with the whole SPEW. And then the 5th one, when she basically comes up with the idea of Dumbledore's army, she pushes Harry to do it. She's like, no, we have to do this. You have to teach us how to defend ourselves. I don't care that it's against the rules. I know that I could get expelled, but this is more important.
Yeah, and you kind of see her
It's crazy.
gradually change from someone that is so much, and even in the end, she still loves her book. She still loves to read, and you see her go from I'm such a rule follower to now my friends are kind kind of changing my worldview and changing how I feel about things. And as much as I'm still like about the rules and I'm still about reading these books, but like there are some things are more important than that.
Right.
And you see her change and you see her kind of like break out and become the person she's meant to be.
Well,
aka a Mrs. Weasley.
Well, you see her going from thinking that being expelled is worse than being like killed by a three-headed dog to, you know, like
Learning defensive magic is more important than being expelled.
well, and realizing that books aren't the most important thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's where her arc is like so important. She goes from strict and stringent and like only books and doing this to realizing that there's more.
I will say, as much as that is so true, you still see bits of her being like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, no. Like when Harry has the Half-Blood Prince's book, and she's like, but why are you crushing it? She's like, you need to cut it. That's what it says. And he's like, no, crush it. You'll get it. She's like, no. And then she's like all mad that he did the potion perfectly and he didn't follow the rules. So you still, as much as you see her change and all that stuff, there's still bits and pieces of her. She's like, no, I have to read. Like, it's a recipe. You have to do it this way. And he's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's so cool that like, it's just, I love her.
Yes.
So, as we know, she's a Gryffindor. Her Patronus is an otter. And as we said earlier in the episode, her hubbies is a Jack Russell Terrier, and they like to chase otters, which is cute. Mm-hmm. Both of her parents are Muggle-born. Well, her parents are Muggles, so she's a Muggle-born. And I don't know why I just wrote Muggle-born parents. They're dentists. They tend to people's teeth. Her skills under Pottermore are almost everything. Her hobbies are reading, campaigning for house elves rights, and you see that a lot in the books, but they don't talk about it in the movies.
Yep.
And
At all.
When we were in high school, this is when Megan had that whole like Hermione and Ron didn't kiss because he called it because they made fun of her and they called it instead of SPEW, he called it spew. And then in the last book, he's like, SPEW, and she macks on him. And I love that.
Max on him.
And then, like, they just kiss in the movie. I'm like, that's not how it happened. I mean, they were down there.
Well, they couldn't say it because they didn't involve it in the other
know,
parts, so they couldn't have brought
But,
it
like,
up.
it's so important. She makes them little hats, and, like, all the house elves are mad except for Dobby.
I did
and Winky.
like how they did it in the movie.
I mean, I did not like it.
I liked how they like laughed at the end. It was cute.
Yeah.
And that's like, that was not scripted. That just kind of happened when filming because it was awkward for them to kiss.
Because they were like
Yeah.
buddies.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was cute.
And you clearly see that she's a bookworm because it starts out with her knowing who Harry is because she read about him in a book. And then you see when she gets into Hogwarts and she's like, oh, I read about it in Hogwarts, a history.
The
She just
ceiling's
loves to read.
enchanted to look
Yeah.
like the sky.
And you even see later on when she's taking like all the classes, all she wants to do is learn.
Yeah.
And she's instrumental in helping Harry and Ron, not only through their schooling, because she helps them with their homework and all those such things, but she's instrumental in helping defeat Voldemort and helping them, like, I think if you took one of any of the three of them out of the equation, they would not be where they needed to be. Like, each one brought a specific part, a specific thing. Like, they each brought something to the table, and that's how, like, they were. And I was going to... because I have an issue with this, comparing her description from the book and the movie. In the book, she has a bossy sort of voice, lots of bushy brown hair, and rather large teeth. And I'm just going to say this now, disclaimer, love Emma Watson, love her as Hermione. I feel like...
They didn't try hard enough.
I wish they had done her hair differently. But that's just...
They originally did give her big teeth.
But she
some of
couldn't
it-
talk
like,
with
some-
them.
which is fine. I could care less about the teeth. Every time I watch it, and as you slowly see her hair changing, and they're like, oh, well, we'll just add like a twist in her hair, like a little kind of curl. No, she's still supposed to have like, to me, when I see bushy hair, I think like big curls, like your hair's kind of crazy. I live with it every day. So like, I was always like, oh, I would have been such a better Hermione with my curly hair. But at least like, she is bossy and her hair is brown. And she's the best Hermione. I don't blame her. Not that I blame the
Emma
hair people
Watson
either.
is perfect.
Yeah.
I agree. I love her.
Yep.
And I literally wrote in here, I love Emma Watson. She did a great job.
She did. She did do a great job.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about some other characters.
Some less cool characters.
Let's talk about Draco Malfoy. All right, his birthday is June 5th, 1980, and I just pulled this information from Pottermore because there wasn't There wasn't a lot, actually. Well, there was a lot on him, but as far as like his little profile at the bottom of the page, Hawthorne and unicorn hair wand, 10 inches, and then it made a note to say precisely.
About his wand,
Yeah.
how it's unicorn hair.
Yeah.
I think that is a really big foreshadowing to his character.
It's very telling of him.
Well, and on Pottermore, there's a whole writing about it and how she's like, as much as J.K. Rowling has come out and said, she's like, he is not one of those like, I have a golden heart, I'm really a great guy inside. She's like, no, he is a nemesis. Like he's there to like offset whatever. Not to say he's a horrible human being, but she's like, he does change and he does have some goodness inside of him. So
he
it's
did
interesting.
realize what he was doing was not right.
Well, he's a product of his environment.
I'm going to get into that actually. But I wanted to go over his little cronies first. There's like hardly anything about these guys. So Crab, birthday, she doesn't even know. 1979 to 1980 at some point. Beater for Slytherin. Parent, they only put Crab Senior. He's a Death Eater. Death May 2nd, 1998. So that was during the Wizarding War when he
dies in the fiend
he
fire,
dies
right?
because of his
he
own
kills
fiend
himself,
fire.
Essentially, 'cause
Yeah.
he's stupid.
Well, yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Goyle, parent, Goyle Senior, Death Eater, Beater for Slytherin. So that's the only information they had about those guys. So getting back into Draco, and you mentioning that he's a product of his environment, she makes it very clear that that is true. So she said that he's a pureblood and only child. He grew up believing that he was, quote, triply special because he was a wizard, he was pureblood, and because he was a Malfoy. So that he was also under the impression of a popular theory within the wizarding community with like the Death Eaters and Voldemort sympathizers that Harry was a dark wizard and would take over and do what Voldemort could not.
Yeah.
So I think, and I think that I'm right, that Malfoy Sr. kind of suggested that Malfoy befriend
I agree with that.
and
100%.
get on his good side, be one with him because they thought that he was going to be the Dark Lord to take over, which he could have been.
Yeah.
Who, Harry could have been?
Yes.
It's all about decisions.
It's all about that. I don't want to be in
It's the choices you
Slytherin
make.
decision.
Your choices show you who you truly are.
Katie. Oh, is that all you wanted to say?
Yep, that
Okay.
was it.
That's it. All right. Sarah.
But do you think, what if he did get sorted into Slytherin?
Yeah.
But what if, like, do you think he would have been bad? Because not all bad witches and wizards come from Slytherin.
I think that
Peter Pettigrew,
with the
Yeah.
Snape,
with
even though
the,
he is kind of a dick. I'm sorry.
with the Horcrux and with being exceptionally impressionable at this time in his life, I think he could have turned.
He got turned.
That's me. That's just me though.
Okay,
No, I
but
can
without
see it.
explanation, you two, what do you think?
Lightning bolt.
Could he have gone bad?
Would he have gone bad if he was in Slytherin?
Could he?
Could he?
Thank you.
I'd say he could.
Yeah, but I could say he could in
Okay,
Gryffindor.
would. We'll go would. Would he? Would he
I'll
have?
say no because I think Harry's nature is truly good.
Okay.
No.
Now, do you think that he would have been friends with Ron if he got sorted into Slytherin?
No.
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 But do you think that that's just Ron's bias
yes.
towards the Slytherins?
I think
I don't
so.
think he would have been friends with Draco
So-
anyway.
So
I
I think
agree
like
with
if
that.
if he was in Slytherin, he would have you're prideful of your house. And Ron hates Slytherins, straight up. And he would have been like, why are you like knocking my house? Because Harry is a protective kind of person. So he would have protected all the other Slytherins. But I think that he had that potential to turn and be dark. But like you said, I think he is also inherently good. So it would have depended on how being in Slytherin would have molded him. Would Snape have treated him any differently? Would he have taken up being a father figure? Would
I still think he would have didn't like him.
I think he would have hated him because he looks like James.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest reason why Snape does not like Harry.
I think
Yeah.
it depends. But you have to think, what kind of difference would that have made had Harry been in Snape's house? These are things we can only speculate about, but I think
that could be a lightning bolt round question. What do we call them?
Lightning bolt.
Okay.
Yeah. So
lightning scar yesterday.
Yeah.
Lightning scar round. Ow, my head.
So I mean that's a lot to talk about, but that was a theory going around with the Death Eaters that because of the rebounding curse that Harry was going to be their next.
Sorry, just scared myself.
You think you're gonna fall?
Kind of.
I thought I touched one.
She reached back and stretched and touched a sweatshirt and thought it was a
scared me.
person.
It felt like a human inside.
You look like a tomato. You're so red.
It scared me a little bit.
All right. So Draco, Crabbe, and Goyle were friends before they came to Hogwarts, which I'm not sure if a lot of people know that.
Shout out to Death Eaters. Woo woo.
They grew up together. So he already had
Camp for their kids.
DE camp.
he already had his crew with him when he came to Hogwarts.
Are they the Death Cobes?
Question. I have a question.
Yes,
Were Crabbe and Goyle Death Eaters in their 7th year?
I would assume so.
Well,
I don't know if they had the
I
mark,
don't know
but they
if
probably
were-
considered
I don't-
themselves.
Yeah, I don't know if they. I think Malfoy was the exception where he got the mark
Because
I
he had
don't
a
know if
mission.
anyone else got the mark,
But I don't
there.
know. How old were they?
No,
Because
can you tell us?
if they're 17,
They have to be 17 in the 7th one.
if they're 17, they can do what they want. If
Right.
their families are Death Eaters, they're probably Death Eaters.
Yeah, but they don't.
Question: Lightning Bolt, are they Death Eaters officially with marks?
I'm gonna say no.
Crabbe and Goyle?
Yeah.
Wait. Are we
No.
saying in the 7th?
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes, I think they
I
are.
say yes. Okay.
Well, you're wrong.
You can't tell why.
You're wrong.
Shut your face, girl. Harry rejects his offer and he protects his new friend Ron. So, like, right off the bat, Gryffindors are protecting one another. And I inserted here, Draco has the audacity to insult Harry's dead parents.
Yeah.
Just shows his character at that point in time, for sure.
Like, what?
He's a little twerp.
He is. What the fantastic.
I think he was so wounded by this rejection, he just snapped this horrible thing out at
Fantastic
Harry.
you.
It's
you
crazy to me. Like, even if I did not like someone and their parents have passed on, I would never, ever, ever insult someone like that.
Blows my mind that anybody anywhere could do that.
And
Like,
that's-
to say he lost both of his parents. I could hate you, but that's sad.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about how often Draco insults the Weasley family.
But so does his dad. I'm sure his dad
Yeah.
said stuff about the Potters being dead too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Probably
yeah.
just second nature to him, you know?
Again, product of his environment.
Yep.
Don't be mean.
So I took this out of Pottermore, and it's the direct quote. Draco had many surnames before I settled on Malfoy. At various times in the earlier drafts, he is Smart, Sphinx, or Spungen. His Christian name comes from a constellation, the dragon, and yet his wand core is of unicorn. This was symbolic. There is, after all, and at the risk of rekindling unhealthy fantasies, some unextinguished good at the heart of Draco.
Before we get too far from Draco, I looked up hawthorn wood.
Okay.
And it says the hawthorn wand seems most at home with a conflicted nature or with a witch or wizard passing through a period of turmoil. Thought that kind of fit him too.
Yeah.
I almost, by the end of the series, feel bad for Draco.
Oh, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Even though he still annoys me because of all that he did leading up to
Yeah.
the final book. But you can't help but feel sorry for him.
You just wonder who he would have been had he not
Had a
been
different
raised
father,
that way.
honestly. Because, I mean, as mean and rude as his mother is, she clearly is the good that's in him.
She helps protect Harry.
Because she helps protect Harry.
Well, she does it because she wants to make sure her son is safe. It's one of the things
Right.
that the means get the ends, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That made no sense coming out of my mouth. But
I know what you
I-
meant.
We know what you meant.
I
do,
undermeant
I
what
mean,
you said.
he would have been. I completely agree. He would have been a totally different person. Like, if he. But I mean, you can't think like that only because he is
who
a
he
product
is.
of his
He is who he
environment.
is, yeah. Yep.
And you see him later on. Maybe he tries to change for his son, and clearly, like, I will say his son is completely different. And
Are
again,
you
we'll preface this.
are you talking about Cursed Child as canon?
I might be.
What?
I will say.
Mark this one down.
Yeah.
I didn't finish reading it, so you can send me howlers. I'm sorry. I will eventually finish it.
I like Draco's son.
And I'm not saying I don't. I'm just thinking
he's great.
you see clearly, wow,
Clearly.
Draco must have changed so much from the time that he was a child and growing up and going through this whole thing and then having his own son, like how different his son is to him.
Yeah.
I also I like Scorpius a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that it's nice to see that.
Something good could come out of.
Well, that's the way Harry
you
came
can
out.
be taught. You are taught to hate, so you can be taught to love.
Right.
Amen to that, sister friend. All right.
So after Draco stops by, the train ride is pretty much over at that point. So they get off the train, and then Harry gets to see Hagrid again, which is exciting. Because it's like Harry gets off the train and immediately recognizes something, which I think is a really nice surprise for him. And he's happy to have a connection to this place already. And I would think that because I would think do you think from the train station they can see Hogwarts, or they have to walk down to the boats first?
They don't see it until
They're on the
There he
boats.
is.
they're
Yeah.
on the boats. Yeah.
Okay. So,
It's like this big reveal.
Yeah.
yeah, so we wanted to talk about the different ways that students get to the castle, because at this point we only see how first years get to the castle. So Harry and all of the other first years follow Hagrid down to the boats, get on the boats, and then travel across the Black Lake to Hogwarts. I think that has to be so overwhelming.
It gives me chills. I literally have children now just thinking about it.
That shot in the movie is so perfect.
How many of them do you think were crying? I probably would be.
I would
I'd
be
cry.
crying.
I'm like, it's just so beautiful.
I mean, I cried when I walked into Hogsmeade for the first time in Orlando, and I
think
cried at
every
Diagon
time.
Alley.
I think I'll cry this weekend.
Oh my gosh.
every time.
Who thinks I'll cry? Lightning
You
bolt.
will
I know.
cry.
And
It's
you
so
crying is
good.
going to make me cry.
I'm stoked.
More so.
It's my first experience, you guys.
Emotional when I walked in.
We're going to record Tiffany's first experience so you
Yeah.
all can see her face when she
It's-
sees it.
You should live stream that.
I can't wait for all of us. I literally have been thinking about this for
An
days.
ugly cry.
Of all of us taking a big group picture
Yeah.
of us drinking our butterbeer with
Yeah.
mustaches. I cannot
Yes.
wait.
Oh yeah.
I have
gotta
to.
do
I
it.
almost reposted because I just was looking at my pictures from when I went like 4 years ago.
yeah.
And you and I have a picture of us with our little
We literally
mustaches.
get one every time we go.
I mean, you can't
Yeah.
not get one.
Your
We have a
first sip-
picture
I mean,
of
yeah.
me and Katie have a picture of us with butterbeer mustaches in our wedding garb when we got photos taken in the Wizarding World
Yeah.
for our wedding. And it's one of my favorite pictures. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's adorable.
So anyway, the other way that you can get to Hogwarts, all the other students go on what we believe to be horseless drawn carriages, and then we discover that they're actually pulled by thestrals.
But that's for another episode.
I love.
What could those
Thestrals.
be?
They're sweet. They're
Yeah,
sweet.
I mean,
think
they're just sad if you think about it.
They're sweet little
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah. Seriously
Well, I
misunderstood
should say they
creatures.
aren't sad. It's sad when you see them.
Yeah. All right. So this takes us to our lightning bolt round.
Can I ask a question?
No.
Will you please read what it says after that?
Oh. So I am in charge of kind of like introducing lightning bolt round. So on our Google Doc, I said, make up your own questions, skanks.
Because we're all really nice to each other.
I am a kind individual. So does anybody have a lightning bolt round question?
I'll
that
ask
you would
a
like
question.
You do, you boop.
If you could only have one person, and I'm gonna say this, it could be anybody in the wizarding world or in the real world, like Muggle world, famous, not famous, whatever, and you can only have one chocolate frog card. Who would it be?
Oh, I like this.
Give me a second. I don't know.
Give you a second. It's a lightning
We'll
bolt
give you
round.
5 seconds.
Go over there.
5,
Go
4,
over there.
3, 2, 1.
Can they be dead?
Anybody?
Frank Sinatra.
Ooh, I like. Mm-hmm. I like.
And Marty.
He's not that good.
I was
He's
gonna
amazing.
say that the only chocolate frog card that I would want is the one that me and Katie made for our wedding about us.
You stole it. You stole it.
What about T Swizzle?
And Taylor Swift.
I'm going to do my answer that is all my other answers involving this and just say Remus Lupin.
There it is.
Honestly, I'd probably say Adele. Love her. She's my spirit animal.
Okay. I have one. If you could have anything off the snack trolley, what would it be? One thing.
Oh, man.
That was my question.
Was it really?
It was.
Oh, great minds. Sorry.
Just one thing.
Just one.
Just one other.
A chocolate frog.
Okay.
I think I've always wanted to try a pumpkin pasty because it just sounds so good. So that's my answer today.
That was mine because I told Sarah to make them and she told me no.
I'll make them. Just they weren't happening this weekend.
Do they have them down there?
They do.
Well, we're gonna.
I still want Sarah to make one.
I'll make some. I'll make some. I would say I would want maybe the Birdie Bots. Go crazy.
But they're so like.
I hope you
hit
get
or
a bogey
miss.
flavored one.
Yeah, when we try it,
when
we try it, I hope one of you guys get vomit because let me tell you, I've had a vomit.
Can I spit it out? Are we allowed to spit them out?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't put the whole bean in your mouth and take.
Yeah,
a
you
chew.
have to take the whole bean.
A chew.
You can't take a
Yes.
bite of the
How
bean.
many palms?
Second breakfast.
We'll come up with these rules later.
Go listen to them. They're great.
They're amazing. All right. Anybody else have a lightning bolt round question?
I don't.
Let me think of
Sarah always comes up with really
I know,
good ones
on
on
the
the spot. Yeah.
if you could sit with anybody in the compartment, who would you want to sit with?
Anybody ever?
But they'd have to wear pink.
What?
On Wednesdays we wear pink. You can't sit with us.
That just completely went over my head. I'd sit with Marty.
He can't come. He's not invited.
Gosh. Do I have to pick someone else?
Let's say someone one of the first years. Who would you want to sit with?
Hermione.
Hermione.
Okay.
Hermione.
I'd sit with Ron so I could eat all the sweets.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's really Harry.
It's Harry.
true. That's
Ron
true.
doesn't.
Harry
You can
would
eat
hook
corned
me
beef sandwiches.
I would agree. I think I'd want to sit with Ron and Harry. I have another
No, you
question.
can only pick one.
Well, they're together.
No.
Can you pick
Well, then I
Fred
pick
and
Harry.
George together? Because that'd be hella fun.
Yeah,
That would be fun.
Oh, that would be fun.
But they
they're
weren't
not
first years.
Oh yeah, you said first year. I pay attention.
Here's a question: where do you think Hermione was the entire train ride when she wasn't bothering them?
Looking for Neville's toad.
That's a long time to check for a toad.
I was just going to say
Neville,
she was
though.
probably with Neville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Okay.
All right.
Trying to think,
Do we have any more? She just did a hand clap like way over her head.
Okay, so we know that the first years take a little boat across the
little
lake
boat.
to get to Hogwarts.
Yeah.
What other way, and not thestrals and carriages, would you like to go from the train to the castle?
Broom.
I would want to just walk and enjoy all the scenery. It's so pretty.
It would probably take you hours.
I don't care.
Are we doing anything other than the boats?
Correct.
It couldn't take
Or thestrals.
hours
You can't say the
because
thestrals.
you just get into Hogsmeade Station, so then you'd be able to walk through Hogsmeade into
I
the
bet
gates
you would
and then
take
up the
you. I
grounds.
bet you would take you longer than the boats.
I need to see a layout map.
Also,
She has
this is
one.
a lightning bolt round,
No
so
explanation.
yeah, you
stop
can't
talking.
say that kind of
I'll
stuff.
say broom because that'd be cool.
You say broom?
Yeah, you could fly.
Yeah.
Take a whole
I would
scenic
fall You could off.
loop.
view. Yeah.
Drive by.
Got the
Fly by
eagle
the
eye view.
towers.
Wouldn't it be cool if they did do brooms and they had like older students like take you?
Yeah. That'd
Yeah.
be pretty cool.
My other question:
See, so many. I love it. I love it.
if not Hagrid, who would you want to bring you into Hogwarts for the first time?
We already talked. We talked about Diagon out or
no,
getting
we
us.
talked about from the hut.
Yeah.
The hut.
The hut.
It'd be cool if Dumbledore himself came down.
Yeah.
Remus.
I don't even think
Did
he
you do
was
that on
around
purpose?
then.
Probably Dumbledore would be cool, or McGonagall.
I think McGonagall.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Flitwick
Ooh,
Oh, that would be good.
Oh yeah.
because he's just so kind.
I bet he'd do some cool charmy thing.
Yeah.
to make it all
Yeah, that's
special.
true.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to all the Ravenclaws out there. I always forget about Flitwick. He's my
Swish
he's the head of my house.
and
Swish and flick.
all right. Is that all we got?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Alrighty,
I think
Roo.
Yeah, we're moving on to our fan featured story.
so. Woohoo!
So this one,
I like Chrissy.
yeah, me,
Yeah, we
me
all
too.
like Chrissy.
Do I
Shout
not
out-
know her?
You
She
should.
was in our bridal party. She's Katie's maid of honor.
Shout out to the BFF,
So I loosely know her.
Chrissy Rodriguez.
What up?
So she says, I remember going to see the first movie when it first came out. It was super popular, and I was lost in the magic and something that was different. I fell in love with the characters, and I felt that they grew up with me. The challenges were more intense as we grew up, and that made me stick to it. I never grew out of the story. I think that's super important because for all of us at this table, we were all the same age as everyone when the movie came out. So we literally did
Yeah.
grow up with
Yeah.
these characters.
I need to call her out here, though.
Okay.
Oh,
You need to read these books along with us, Christina.
Has she not read them?
Oh, you dropped the Christina.
I don't think that. I think maybe she's read some, but not all.
I believe
What?
she's read up to 3.
Yes. So
I believe. I could be wrong.
So
Chrissy.
Chrissy. I don't. I don't know
Sorry
you
to
that
call you
well.
out.
Come on.
You better do this with us.
Not to be a book snob, but come on.
I just
We
wanna-
love you, though.
I just
Love
want to
you a
say
lot.
with the fan featured stories. Also, if you have told us your like Potter life story, if you have a funny story or something that involves Harry Potter,
Yeah.
tell us that too, and we'll talk about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
everybody loves a good funny story. AKA my entire life is a funny story.
Yep.
So thank you, Chrissy, for
Yes,
sharing
thank you.
with
Chrissy.
us.
Yes.
We heart you.
Enjoy your button.
Buttons.
Your buttons.
The gumdrop buttons.
Gumdrop buttons.
Not the gumdrop buttons. Okay. Now that our button giveaway is over, starting with this episode, we'll be pinning a discussion post at the top of our Facebook page every week instead of the button giveaway post, so that everybody can utilize it to discuss the different parts of the current episode that's up. So you can post your questions on this, your comments, concerns. Anyone can respond and answer. All of us will respond to you all as well.
Also, we just had someone on our Facebook page talk about asking like what they call it, like a mailbag or something.
Oh, yeah.
And ask, we're gonna do that every once in a while. So when we do that, keep your eyes out, and we'll answer as many questions as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So go and find us on Facebook. That's where we're most active. So like our page to get all the latest info. We're Swish and Flick Podcast on Facebook or Swish Flickcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. And if anyone wants any Swish and Flick swag, we have a store on TeePublic as well. So check out our store at teepublic.com/swishflickcast. And you can get matching shirts like what we wore in Florida. And you can check those out on our social media from MuggleNet Live.
Okay. All right. So that is it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and don't let the muggles get you down.
Amazing! Just my voice!
I'm not ready to be a celebrity like Harry Potter.
Okay, we're recording.
Are we really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, jeez.
All right, gotta get my like wiggles out. My wiggles and my giggles.
We messed
Yeah.
up one number and we're freaking out.
Numbers. Oh, wait, was that a thing?
Beast or rebel.
the very best.
Like no one ever was.
But episode
To
6.
catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the lands. True Pokemon to understand the power that's inside Pokemon.
Oh my god. You gotta catch them all.
That's so true.
Tiffany, you should say hello and welcome to episode 6 of Swish and Flick.